But we are almost there. Good morning, Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk. We got a ton to tackle about Springfield happenings, from the ground being broken for the sports complex there at the south side of town. On the north side of town, new arrival for Breeze Airways. Going to be able to take people down to Florida from Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport. We'll get details on that. Plus, we'll talk about the back and forth between Springfield Clinic and Blue Cross Blue Shield. Some of the details on what's being requested of state regulators by local state lawmakers in that controversy. So that's what we'll talk about in the 8 o'clock hour. But before we get to any of that, we got to talk about the work permits for those who came over the southern border seeking asylum and Governor J.B. Pritzker's reaction to that. We also got to talk about the governor giving nearly $500 million, actually more than $500 million in tax credits to a Chinese-linked company, and more voices coming out with serious concerns that we're helping fund our adversaries. We'll also review a little bit of a Illinois Supreme Court case about a bicyclist on Chicago roads getting hurt after hitting a pothole. Who should be held liable for that? But up next, we'll start the show as we do most days, and that is a quick review of what's going on with litigation against Illinois' gun and magazine laws. So stay tuned. It's coming up here on WMAY. Now 6:05. I'm Greg Bishop.
News.
Weather.
92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story: an historic building in Springfield is one step closer to being demolished. The Springfield City Council on Wednesday approved a zoning ordinance that would allow development of a parcel of land that includes the Sportsman's Lounge located at 229 West Mason Street in Springfield. The building dates to 1866 and is one of the oldest commercial buildings in the city. Medicare officials are beginning to negotiate lower drug prices with pharmaceutical companies, at least one of which is resisting in court. Medicare had previously been prohibited from interfering with pricing decisions between manufacturers and pharmacies on the grounds that such negotiations interfered with the company's patent rights. Pharmaceutical giant Merck has filed a lawsuit against the federal government to protect pricing on drugs to treat diabetes and other chronic diseases. A special delivery of space dust will land in the Utah desert next week. A probe called OSIRIS-REx left Earth in 2016 and landed on an asteroid called Bennu in 2020. It collected a sample from the surface and will enter Earth's atmosphere on September 24th after a 3-year journey home. Scientists expect to retrieve 1 or 2 pounds of material, which they believe will yield clues about the composition of the solar system billions of years ago. Springfield City Council on Wednesday approved the appointment of Gwendolyn Harrison as director of Lincoln Library. Harrison replaces interim director Catherine Harris, who has been serving since director Summer Beck Griffith was summarily fired in May, soon after Mayor Busher took office. The Citizens Club of Springfield will meet Friday morning at 8 o'clock. Their guest speaker will be Mike Murphy, president and CEO of the Greater Springfield Chamber of Commerce, who will discuss the history, mission, and core values of the Chamber, as well as Chamber programs and challenges. Moderator will be retired reporter Bernie Schoenberg. The event is free and will be held at the Hoagland Center for the Arts. Your WMAY dependable forecast is next on Springfield's News and Talk.
News brought to you by Illinois Paving. It's paving season, and Illinois Paving is here to help. Call Cousin Bill today for your free estimate. Visit ilpaving.com.
Lauterbach Man here, proudly standing above my busy 7 bays on Wabash. The view from here is amazing. I've been looking at our wonderful city for decades upon decades. Many things have changed, but other things have not. We love Abe. We aren't shy about covering things in cheese, then adding toast, then cheese, then fries, then cheese, then, well, you know what I'm talking about. And the thing I'm most proud of, the thousands and thousands of cars that are driving safely thanks to our talented Lauterbach technicians. Cars going from the airport to the universities, from North Dirksen to South Veterans, crisscrossing from farmland to downtown, waving at tourists and trusted politicians. Abe. And if Abe were here today, he'd say, "Who's the tall guy?" And I'd say, "I'm Lauterbach Man, and I'm at your service." And if an imaginary Abe Lincoln driving a car can trust us, you can too. Lauterbach Tire on Wabash. Drive safely now.
So when was the last time you saw a best deal guarantee?
You mean a promise that actually held up?
Right.
That some unknown online entity didn't want you to log in and download a code and then re-verify as you join some club?
Drives you nuts, I know.
And then once you purchase that set of steak knives...
Well, Dick Van Dyke Appliance World is a lot simpler. You find a verified great deal and they beat it. Just show them the deal you saw. A newspaper clipping or the online cart price will do, and then you're good.
At Dick Van Dyke Appliance World, it's one of those instances where you see a best deal guarantee and...
you get the best deal.
This is Dennis Reekin, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. Our exclusive 10-year protection plan comes free with most appliance purchases. Whether it's a GE, Whirlpool, Frigidaire, Bosch, or any of our 30 brands, I guarantee we will beat any competitor's deal. Wow!
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
Now, your dependable forecast on 92.7 WMAY.
Chance for scattered thunderstorms. Today, otherwise cloudy skies. Daytime highs approaching 74. Southeasterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mainly cloudy skies. Tonight, chance for scattered storms. Lows level off around 64. Cloudy skies expected. Tomorrow, chance for scattered storms. Daytime highs approaching 79. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Currently, it's 62.
Weather sponsored by BLH Computers in Springfield, Jacksonville, and Taylorville. Online at blhcomputers.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-989-8906 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-989-8906. That's 800-989-8906. What do you have to lose? Call 800-989-8906. Again, 800-989-8906.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those round trips that you plan in advance, which are perfect on your way there and perfect on your way back? Or those meetings with friends for which you make a group chat 3 months before so that nobody or anything is missing? Or your daughter's first birthday party. You planned it with such dedication that instead of the first, it felt like our 15s. The same way you plan each detail for those moments. Start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI Studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
It feels like Friday, not quite there yet, but we will get there eventually together. Thanks for hanging out. It is Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. Anytime you need to get a hold of me, you can do so real simple. Just search Bishop on Air, and we can connect that way on X, on YouTube, on Facebook, and remember all the different, at least legacy social media accounts that there are. I think I'm done with adding on new social media. Quite frankly, it's getting out of hand. But anyways, all right. So let's get into it. We've got a ton to get to here with Springfield's Morning News on WMAY. Again, thanks for everybody hanging out. You can always comment either by calling in at 217-629-7970. You can do that live, or you can comment on the YouTube channel as we stream, or on Facebook as we stream. So be sure to take part in the conversation that way. But we want to get started here. The latest in litigation against Illinois gun laws, something that we've been tracking practically every day that we put stuff out. And it's interesting to see some of the different things that are happening. But those of you waiting for the Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals to release their ruling on the challenge of Illinois' gun and magazine ban on Second Amendment grounds, we're still waiting for that. That has not been released, and it's been, months now since they've heard this. And a lot of people speculating on when exactly this is going to be dropped, because, of course, we're coming up on October 1st, which is the window opening for the registry of those firearms that the legislature banned. And you got the January 1st deadline to actually file an affidavit, quote, voluntarily, or you face criminal penalties. And that's coming up again by the end of this year. But you had the Seventh Circuit U.S. Court of Appeals hear this challenge months ago, and we're still waiting. And curious as to why it's taking so long to get that ruling out of the Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals. But if you ask attorneys, hey, what kind of timeline can you give us? The kind of standard response is courts work at their own pace. So whatever that means. But you do have a challenge of the vagueness issues around the gun ban and registry that Thomas Magg is going to bring to the Southern District of Illinois federal courts. So that's going to be next month. We'll see how that goes. But a couple of other cases that we do have some updates on. One in particular, that lawsuit challenging Illinois' law allowing for people to sue the gun industry. If you recall, this was passed in spring session, and the governor signed it, and it ultimately would allow for the Illinois Attorney General or for any private citizen to go after any player in the gun industry. Manufacturers, retailers, or gun clubs. It's kind of ambiguous as to what kind of gun industry actors would be subject to these types of lawsuits, but it would allow for lawsuits against the gun industry for how they advertise, but also for allegedly making the community less safe. So that measure passed, it was signed into law, and instantly you had a lawsuit filed. And this lawsuit was filed by gun rights advocates, and the latest in that was actually yesterday, where an order granted the state's motion for an extension in their response to a preliminary injunction request. So you had the gun rights groups come in, almost instantly sue the state after Governor J.B. Pritzker signed this law. And the process plays out, and you look at the most recent docket entry yesterday, and it says, order, defendant's motion for an extension, because the state asked for an extension, is granted. Defendant's response to plaintiff's motion for a preliminary injunction, which would hold the law while the case plays out, shall be filed no later than October 19th. So the judge in this case, Stacey Yandel, yesterday, indicating that the state's motion for an extension of response to their preliminary injunction request is granted. So October 19th is when we're going to get that response. So that's the latest where we're at on the litigation against Illinois gun laws. Still no update out of the U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, the Seventh Circuit. Still waiting for the Southern District to hear the case on vagueness grounds. That deals with the gun and magazine ban. But then you have the separate lawsuit against the measure that allows for people to sue the gun industry in Illinois. That lawsuit against that law, that has now been updated with the most recent docket entry saying that indeed the state is allowed to have a delayed response to the request for a preliminary injunction, and that'll come October 19th. So there you go. The latest right here. And if you need more, you can always follow along. Bishop on Air. Again, Bishop on Air on X, YouTube, Facebook. Just search it out. Again, Bishop on Air. I got to take a break. Coming back, we will talk a little bit later on about a bicyclist hitting a pothole up in Chicago, taking a case all the way to the Illinois Supreme Court. We'll also talk about Gojin and Chinese communist ties that people have concerns with, plus work permits for undocumented asylum seekers. So we'll get to that next. It's now 6:18 from Culver's West on Wabash.
Deliver smiles, butter burgers, fresh custard, and great service. Culver's West on Wabash is hiring for all positions.
So when was the last time you saw a best deal guarantee?
You mean a promise that actually held up?
Right.
That some unknown online entity didn't want you to log in and download a code and then re-verify as you join some club?
Drives you nuts, I know.
And then once you purchase that set of steak knives...
Well, Dick Van Dyke Appliance World is a lot simpler. You find a verified great deal and they beat it. Just show them the deal you saw. A newspaper clipping or the online cart price will do, and then you're good.
At Dick Van Dyke Appliance World, it's one of those instances where you see a best deal guarantee and...
you get the best deal.
This is Dennis Reekin, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. Our exclusive 10-year protection plan comes free with most appliance purchases. Whether it's a GE, Whirlpool, Frigidaire, Bosch, or any of our 30 brands, I guarantee we will beat any competitor's deal. Wow!
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
Get 11% off your appliance upgrade now at Menards. We offer the lowest prices with the largest in-stock appliance selection. Ready to take home today. New appliances from Menards are meant to make your life easier. Upgrade your home with top appliance brands including KitchenAid, Maytag, Whirlpool, Amana, and Criterion. Upgrade your home with new energy-efficient appliances and save 11%. Good through September 24th. Savings are mail-in rebate. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Academy Sports and Outdoors is the sporting goods store that's all about fun. And a new location is coming to Springfield. With great brands at the best prices, you'll always find the gear you need to play the games you love and enjoy your favorite outdoor activities with your favorite people. Academy has it all in store and online. No matter how you have fun out there, your next adventure starts here. Your new Academy Sports and Outdoors store is coming soon to Springfield. Until then, check out academy.com.
The Silsa Wow Award is an opportunity for our community to recognize unsung heroes, those who make a difference in others' lives through simple acts of kindness or superior customer service. Kindness is a gift to share, and by embracing it, we can all make Springfield a happier place. Do you know someone deserving recognition simply for being kind? Then please take a moment to nominate them for a Wow Award today at silsa-springfield.com. That's CILCSA-springfield.com. The Wow Award is proudly featured on 92.7 WMAY.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those round trips that you plan in advance, which are perfect on your way there and perfect on your way back? Or those meetings with friends for which you make a group chat 3 months before so that nobody or anything is missing? Or your daughter's first birthday party. You planned it with such dedication that instead of the first, it felt like our 15's. The same way you plan each detail for those moments. Start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Paid actor portrayal.
I didn't see it coming. Life can be so unpredictable. After losing my dad, it made me think about my family if something were to happen to me. The mortgage, car payments, and all the other bills. Even things like our annual summer vacation would be out of reach. I had heard about life insurance through Ethos and how easy it was to get coverage. They were right. I knew it was time to stop putting it off and get life insurance right now. I got on my computer and went to ethoslife.com. In just 10 minutes, I was covered. And boom, family protected. Thanks to Ethos, my family won't have to worry about the bills if the unpredictable happens to me.
Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's GETETHOS.com.
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop. Weekdays 6 till 9 on 92.7 WMAY.
Governor J.B. Pritzker late last night putting out a statement after the Biden administration sent out a notification about work permits for certain migrants that have crossed the southern U.S. border. Looking at it on Twitter, the governor says, since day one of this humanitarian crisis, this is a quote, I've heard one thing from migrant families and their advocates. They want to build better lives and work. I'm very pleased that President Biden has listened to my concerns and those of other governors and political leaders and expanded temporary protected status to migrants from Venezuela, thousands of whom have been sent to Illinois over the past year. Despite traveling thousands of treacherous miles and then being used as political chess pieces by those who should have welcomed and helped them, they are eager to contribute to their new communities and get to work. So the governor continues on. He says reducing wait times for employment approvals and expanding protection status for those coming from Venezuela will get people working and on a path to building a better future for themselves and their families in Illinois. He says we're facing worker shortages in critical industries like hospitality, food processing, healthcare, and transportation. And the governor says these additional workers will help relieve those shortages and the burden they place on employers. The governor goes on to say that his administration will continue to work with the Biden administration and the Department of Homeland Security to address the ongoing influx of asylum seekers with care, compassion, and practicality as this crisis evolves. What's fascinating here is, he seems to just kind of gloss over the fact that the Biden administration's policies on the border have been lax, allowing for millions of people to come across. And just some of the video that I'm seeing online is just staggering to see the scores of people crossing the border and bringing families. And a lot of them, though, look to be of men of military age, for instance. So clearly there are some concerns that people characterizing it as an invasion of sorts. So how do you balance all of this out with those concerns? And also, when we heard about this earlier, when was this? Last month. It was late last month when Governor Pritzker and Senator Durbin and even members of various business associations like the Manufacturers Association, they talked about the migrant situation and how they need more workers. So they should push for this type of operation to allow for more worker permits. But you've got those pushing back against the idea, including downstate state representative Charlie Meyer. He said late last month that there's no way to police who's actually going to be working in these types of conditions for farmers, and that's a problem.
There's nothing set up for this to work, where the programs that we have that we use, they're vetted, we know who's coming. You've got some background on them.
And he says that while they could use the help, they do use the help from those who have been vetted, those undocumented who have been vetted.
A lot of farms use, and we need that work, we need workers. But it seems like you should come legally in this country to do that. That's my opinion on that.
And then you have U.S. Representative Darren LaHood also raising concerns about the idea of workers not properly being vetted in these types of situations.
When you allow in 4 million people under the Biden administration that have come across the border illegally, that not complying with the rule of law, then that's problematic.
And don't forget, the border's wide open, and that needs to be addressed along with immigration
There's
reform.
multiple issues that need to be addressed. I mean, first of all, they're violating the law. I mean, we have laws in place in this country that need to be abided by.
So the debate continues on migration reform, but the president is moving forward with allowing for work permits for those from Venezuela and to have temporary status. And you've got the reaction now. I'm sure business community is going to see what some are characterizing here on YouTube, commenting saying they need, quote, cheap labor. That's a commenter on YouTube this morning. But you can sound off as well at 217-629-7970. Again, 217-629-7970. So Governor J.B. Pritzker, again, celebrating that President Joe Biden has and the U.S. Department of Homeland Security expanding temporary protections, including work permits for thousands of recent asylum seekers in Illinois and across the country. But while we've got the border seeming to be just wide open, you've got the debate continuing even in Congress, where the questions of what kind of reforms are there going to be have still kind of eluded the Congress in particular. You've got members of the U.S. Senate debating this just recently. If you recall, you had a hearing that was set for talking about book bans, but instead they delved into the issue of immigration reform. And here you've got in the Senate Judiciary Committee earlier this month, Senator Lindsey Graham raising significant issues with how many migrants have come across.
We've had 146 people on the terrorist watch list. In FY22, which is about 2.4 million came across. Since President Biden's been president, 5.5 million people have come across illegally. That's bigger than the state of South Carolina.
And U.S. Senator Dick Durbin saying, hey, they worked on it before.
Gang of 8, 4 Democrats, 4 Republicans, wrote a comprehensive immigration reform bill, which I still think in the whole can be used today as a template for where we need to go.
He said that that did have some protections for DACA recipients, those in the country, brought in the country by their parents when they were young.
The bill was that those who were undocumented, currently living in the United States, would report themselves to the government and pay their taxes and their Social Security. They would not qualify for citizenship, at least in the outset. And the idea was to get everybody on the books once and for all.
So they're going to advance anything like that in the U.S. Senate or even in the U.S. House? They're going to come to terms with all of the opposition there is and the questions of safety? And what do you do with that federal judge who recently just determined that DACA was illegal, that the deferred action for new arrivals was illegal? So this is going to be an ongoing situation, but the bottom line is, as U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham said, there's been several million people come across the border in just the span of a few years, and that was not the case under the former administration, but it seems to have been the case now. Let's take a quick call here before the bottom of the hour news at 217-629-7970. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Hey, morning, Greg. How's it going?
Good. Yourself?
Oh, not bad. You know, I only got a couple issues with the temporary work permits and such. When they start piling on migrants into jobs and other places, the only thing it really does, and just like they said on YouTube, they're looking for cheap labor. And what you do is all the Democrats and everybody that's sitting there preaching about a living wage and higher wages, when they do things like this, they drive down the value of legitimate American workers, because when you can man those jobs for cheaper, the wages that they're wanting the American people to get, they're not going to get. And then on top of that, a better way to fill the employment gap that we're having nowadays, why don't we start lessening the incentive for people to sit at home and do nothing as opposed to bringing in cheaper labor? I mean, the government has so many incentives to where if I decided I didn't want to work tomorrow and I wanted to sit at home, I could go do a couple of things for cash, tax-free, put my family on welfare. I mean, there's multiple things I could do to survive, and I would be more well off than I am right now trying to do it right.
Well, there's definitely incentives on both sides of this equation, if you really think about it, right? I mean, the incentive you're highlighting, you're indicating that is making people who are residents of this country want to just stay home and not actually work because they can find subsidies or some kind of government benefits to kind of fill the void. But you've also got incentives of sanctuary city policies, taxpayer-funded health care for those over the age of 65 in this country as non-citizens in Illinois. Now work permits for those from Venezuela. Can somebody from Peru say, hey, I identify as from Venezuela recently. Can I go ahead and get this work permit? So the incentives are across the board when you look at this and how they actually get control of it, especially with those business interests who have been pushing for these work permits. How do you get the U.S. Congress to actually reverse this? And I'll let you answer that here in a moment. But you also got to consider, while you're raising the issues about the work and the economy, those economic issues absolutely are important. But other people will raise concerns about what the trajectory is for the makeup of this country, especially when it comes to the electorate. And could there be a push to say, all right, these people are here now, let's just give amnesty, and then all of a sudden they can have access to the ballot box? So you've got that concern in play as well.
And I fully agree. That is the end game plan for this, because the more of the actual American public that they're losing in the polling, they have to fill that gap somewhere.
What times we live in. It's pretty incredible. Appreciate the call.
Nope, have a good day.
It is Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk, and we'll have a lot more to say about this in the future, no question. All right, got to take a break. Coming back, we'll talk about something else that's sparking controversy and concern. Are we giving tax credits to our adversaries? That's a red flag that's being raised by several individuals, including members of the U.S. Congress. So stay tuned. 6:35 now on WMAY.
92.7 WMAY.
Here are the three big things you need to know.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story, the Citizens Club of Springfield will meet Friday morning at 8 o'clock. Their guest speaker will be Mike Murphy, President and CEO of the Greater Springfield Chamber of Commerce, who will discuss the history, mission, and core values of the Chamber, as well as Chamber programs and challenges. The moderator will be retired reporter Bernie Schoenberg. The event is free and will be held at the Hoagland Center for the Arts. September 23rd marks the 40th anniversary of Republican Governor Thompson's signing the Illinois Educational Labor Relations Act into law. The governor's administration hammered out an agreement with the Illinois Education Association that allowed collective bargaining for teachers and led to limits on class sizes, more funding for special education, and other advancements in Illinois classrooms. An historic building in Springfield is one step closer to being demolished. The Springfield City Council on Wednesday approved a zoning ordinance that would allow development of a parcel of land that includes the Sportsman's Lounge located at 229 West Mason Street in Springfield. The building dates to 1866 and is one of the oldest commercial buildings in the city. Medicare officials are beginning to negotiate lower drug prices with pharmaceutical companies, at least one of which is resisting in court. Medicare had previously been prohibited from interfering with pricing decisions between manufacturers and pharmacies on the grounds that such negotiations interfered with a company's patent rights. Pharmaceutical giant Merck has filed a lawsuit against the federal government to protect pricing on drugs to treat diabetes and other chronic diseases. A special delivery of space dust will land in the Utah desert next week. A probe called OSIRIS-REx left Earth in 2016 and landed on an asteroid called Bennu in 2020. It collected a sample from the surface and will enter Earth's atmosphere on September 24th after a 3-year journey home. Scientists expect to retrieve 1 or 2 pounds of material, which they believe will yield clues about the composition of the solar system billions of years ago. The Springfield City Council voted on Wednesday to spend $110,000 studying the feasibility of converting the Dahlman Unit 4 power generation plant from coal to natural gas. Opponents of the measure complained that switching one fossil fuel for another was inconsistent with meeting climate change goals, while proponents countered that any conversion process will need proper study before an informed decision can be made. The Illinois State Police has just issued a press release regarding the new requirement that individuals who possess an assault weapon or other items covered by the law must submit paperwork through their FOID card account prior to January 1st. Individuals who need help can visit an ISP FOID kiosk or visit the ISP website. When visiting a kiosk, the ISP asks individuals not to bring their weapons with them. Your WMAY dependable forecast is next on Springfield's News and Talk.
Hello, everybody. Cousin Bill with Illinois Paving. And the Burrs are here. September, October, November. So if you need a new driveway done this year, you better call now. When others say no, they can't get to you this year, Illinois Paving says yes, with immediate openings available. So call Cousin Bill, 788-7777. 788-7777.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles, with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost, month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost.
Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-306-8158. That's 800-306-8158. What do you have to lose? Call 800-306-8158. Again, 800-306-8158.
Less hassle, more travel. We've got connections. Springfield to anywhere. The Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport has recently undergone improvements to make your experience flying to and from your hometown even easier. Security lines are short, parking is always free, and customer service is a top priority. Book your next American Airlines flight from SPI at AA.com. Fly local, fly SPI. Take the easy way out.
Take the easy way out.
Now, your dependable forecast on 92.7 WMAY.
Chance for scattered thunderstorms today, otherwise cloudy skies. Daytime highs approaching 74, southeasterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mainly cloudy skies. Tonight, chance for scattered storms, lows level off around 64. Cloudy skies expected tomorrow, chance for scattered storms, daytime highs approaching 79. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Currently, it's 62.
Weather sponsored by Lauterbach Tire and Auto, home of Stage 2 service. Drive safely now.
Keeping you connected with the latest market updates every weekday afternoon at 4:30 and 6:30. Brought to you by Edward Jones, making sense of investing. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
Have you lost Illinois Medicaid? At healthcare.gov, you can find a low-cost quality health plan.
Do plans cover doctor visits?
What about emergency care?
And prescriptions?
All covered and more. Plus, with the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Guess who's in charge of arranging the corporate event this year? Now, where to start?
Conn's Catering and Events has you covered. A quick call or visit with the experts at Conn's will save you time while making you look like an excellent planner.
Well, this event is a real monster. We'll need a bunch of options.
Like a customizable menu tailored to your specific needs and preferences?
That would be one easy solution.
From full-service events like the one you're planning to drop-off catering like a quick meal to feed the office, Conn's will have people complimenting you on the excellent choices.
Sounds like this is going to be a permanent addition to my job description.
Because you're not settling for anything less than extraordinary. Give Conn's a call. They'll help you turn the event into a complete success as you make that lasting impression on your clients, employees, and guests.
Call Angie at 217-523-4466
or visit Cons at conshg.com to set up your corporate dining experience today.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone.
Done.
By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
I'm Peter Greenberg, and this is today's Eye on Travel Minute. Summer may be over, but the backlog for processing new passports or renewals is still huge. But if you think the wait for getting a passport is long, the wait to get global entry, which offers much faster processing through customs and immigration when you return to the U.S., is even longer. To get global entry, you not only have to fill out a detailed application, but also schedule an appointment for an in-person interview. And the wait time for that complete process is taking as long as 11 months. One way to speed up the process is not scheduling an interview at all, but instead stopping by a customs office at the airport the next time you leave or return to the U.S. and hope for an on-the-spot interview. For more information, visit petergreenberg.com. I'm Peter Greenberg, and this is today's Eye on Travel Minute.
When it comes to hiring, you don't need to be doing all the searching, screening, and interviewing yourself. What you need is Indeed, the end-to-end solution that makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire quality candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credits.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
It's just the most recent proof that we are in a new paradigm here. Illinois is on the rise, and we're open for business. Thank you.
It's Governor J.B. Pritzker, a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago now, earlier this month when he was up in Kankakee County in Manteno with local officials and also officials from a Chinese business that's building a $2 billion factory with the help of tax incentives totaling more than $500 million just from Illinois. Gojin. They are a Chinese-linked company, and now we have some concerns that have been raised by not just state House Republicans, but by Republicans in both the U.S. House and the U.S. Senate. So let's get into this. Earlier this month, the governor in Manteno laying out the vision that Gojin has to create an EV battery factory in the state of Illinois, and doing so with the help of more than $500 million in tax credits from the Reinventing Electric Vehicles Act, the REV Act. And this is, tax credits for certain companies to come into Illinois, set up, and then they get tax credits for, the number of employees they have. And you even have the local government in Manteno allowing for property tax freeze for Gojin. But Governor J.B. Pritzker, again, talking about what this means for Illinois, that this Chinese-linked company is going to be setting up shop in Illinois.
Welcome a world-leading battery manufacturer, Goshen Inc., to Illinois. With a $2 billion investment, Goshen intends to build a new state-of-the-art EV battery gigafactory right here in Manteno. So in summary, 2,600 new jobs, a $2 billion gigafactory, the most significant new manufacturing investment in Illinois in decades. It's just the most recent proof that we are in a new paradigm here. Illinois is on the rise, and we're open for business. Thank you.
We are in a new paradigm here, the governor says. Illinois is open for business. When we talked with Mark Glennon, he's the founder of WirePoints, he raised concern about the amount of subsidies and tax credits that are being laid out for this Chinese-linked company. It's not just the $500 million plus. I think it's $536 million that the state is set to give in tax credits to Gojin. It's also the federal tax credits that are going to be given. Here's Mark Glennon from a conversation we had with him last week.
That, of course, comes from state taxpayers. But the extraordinary thing is that under the federal tax credits, this is part of the Inflation Reduction Act, enormous credits are available. And the source that we have indicates that these will come to some $6.5 billion over the first 5 years. $6.5 billion for a plant that's only going to cost $2 billion to build.
So again, Glennon highlighting the amount of tax credits, but also questions and concerns about China and their role in this company. Specifically because you've got the indication that China forces Chinese companies to essentially be an arm of the Chinese Communist Party. And while Glennon says that's, of course, kind of his understanding of this, it really does raise concerns when it comes to what China has recently even told their citizens they need to do for the Communist Party of China.
But I am certain that that general risk that you described is there. And just a couple of months ago, the Chinese government put out a directive to all its citizens saying, we expect you to spy this is part of your obligation to your nation, and they offered rewards and such for it. So, this is suspicious.
And when you look at not just in Illinois, you've got a plant in Michigan that's also raising concerns, but you've also got in Illinois, State Representative Chris Miller saying that Illinois tax incentives should not go to those who, quote, spy on our country, steal our technology, and intend to drive American companies out of business. Miller said that Pritzker's giveaways borders being treasonous. And you have other Republicans who are highlighting just that they would not have supported the tax credits for reinventing electric vehicles if they knew that it was going to go to adversaries of the country, including China. Also, in a letter that the U.S. House Select Committee on the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, sent to Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen last week, it said Gojin High-Tech Company is a People's Republic of China company that has direct ties to the CCP and state-owned financial institutions. This is coming from the U.S. Congress to the Treasury Secretary. Gojin's been an active participant in the People's Republic of China-based version of the Thousand Talents Program, a program the FBI itself says encourages theft of trade secrets and economic espionage. Gojin's established multiple Communist Party units within its operations and has publicly sought PRC provincial government supports for its desire to expand its operations overseas. So since reporting on that yesterday, you had a letter late yesterday from members of the U.S. Senate, including Marco Rubio, but also members of the U.S. House, including Mike Bost from Illinois, sending a similar letter to Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen. And in particular, they highlights that Gojin is bringing that battery plant to Illinois, expected to open next year. And they said in their letter, the extent the CCP's control over this company is explicitly mentioned in the company's corporate bylaws, which require the company to carry out party activities in accordance with the Constitution of the Chinese Communist Party. In 2021, the company hosted several company retreats where employees were mandated to recite a pledge of loyalty to the party, including to fight for communism. The company's recent investments effectively hand substantive decision-making regarding the management, operation, manufacture, and supply of the product that the Biden administration classifies as critical infrastructure to the People's Republic of China. So again, various people signing on to this, including Mike Bost, congressman from Southern Illinois, and congressman from Michigan, John James, where they're facing a similar situation with a Gojin plant getting tax credits and subsidies. So that's where we're at in the questions and the red flags being raised around Gojin. We'll see where that ultimately goes and what the governor's response is. If he's going to hold a news conference anytime soon in an area where I can ask such questions, guaranteed I will ask such questions. So follow me anywhere. If you want to stay up to date, just search Bishop on Air. Bishop on Air. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Just search Bishop on Air. All right, stay tuned. Coming back, I don't know if we're going to be able to get to the bike pothole Supreme Court case. We might have to bump that down a little bit later on, but maybe we open it up for a few phone calls in the next segment with the few minutes we have left. So get those phone calls ready at 217-629-7970, 652 from Culver's West on Wabash.
Work with a team that cares about being the best part of the customer's day. Apply today at Culver's West on Wabash.
Here's what's happening right now at Green Certified West.
Not another goat dropping.
Hey guys, another goat dropping.
A what?
The goats. They keep dropping the prices on all these quality pre-owned vehicles.
Wasn't what I was expecting. The goats are just doing what they do best, giving the Green Certified West customers their very best deals and amazing customer service.
These prices are too low. We have a business to run. Hey, you, goat, not another dropping on my lot.
Come see the Goat Squad at Green Certified West for your very best deal.
Looking for a bank that's more than just a place to keep your money? Clock Tower Community Bank, a division of Morton Community Bank, combines your love of community with trusted financial expertise. Local people making local decisions for local successes. With full-service personal and business banking and lending of all types, Clock Tower Community Bank is everything you want in a community bank. Stop by one of our 6 convenient locations in Springfield and Chatham today, or visit us on the web at hometownbanks.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles, with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost, month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost.
Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-306-8158. That's 800-306-8158. What do you have to lose? Call 800-306-8158. Again, 800-306-8158.
Breaking news, that's what the Center Square does best. The stories other media outlets refuse to report, the Center Square's breaking them all the time. Stories about government waste and political spending, stories about partisan agendas that hijack your tax dollars. The Center Square has it all covered and delivers the biggest news to your inbox as it happens. Sign up now for your state Center Square newsletters at thecentersquare.com. That's thecentersquare.com.
So when was the last time you saw a best deal guarantee?
You mean a promise that actually held up?
Right.
That some unknown online entity didn't want you to log in and download a code and then re-verify as you join some club?
Drives you nuts, I know.
And then once you purchase that set of steak knives...
Well, Dick Van Dyke Appliance World is a lot simpler. You find a verified great deal and they beat it. Just show them the deal you saw. A newspaper clipping or the online cart price will do, and then you're good.
At Dick Van Dyke Appliance World, it's one of those instances where you see a best deal guarantee and...
you get the best deal.
This is Dennis Rieken, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. Our exclusive 10-year protection plan comes free with most appliance purchases. Whether it's a GE, Whirlpool, Frigidaire, Bosch, or any of our 30 brands, I guarantee we will beat any competitor's deal. Wow!
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, get the whole store.
One of the easiest things you can do to prevent getting stranded tomorrow is check your battery today. Hi, it's Laurie from Rex Battery. If you can take about 5 minutes out of your day, we can make absolutely sure your car battery is ready before winter. Just pull into Rex, and we'll not only test the battery, but we'll make sure your alternator is doing its important job. Just because your car is running well now doesn't mean it's going to start when the temp drops. If you find your battery is near the end of its life, Rex Battery has car batteries for every make and model on the road. And more often than not, we have them for less than other places. Batteries are all we do, and we want to make sure yours is strong before winter hits. Just pull into Rex Battery anytime and ask for a free battery test. Rex Battery, Clear Lake, west of Dirksen.
To protect his home and family from disaster, Steve used courage, wisdom, and his camera phone.
That should do it.
Way to go, Steve! By simply taking digital pictures of his family's important documents, Steve can always have them stored safely online, no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Listen and watch the interviews with today's newsmakers on Facebook and YouTube. Like and subscribe now. Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY.
A few moments here for you to sound off. If you want to call in, 217-629-7970. You can also email bishoponair@gmail.com, or you can comment live on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Message coming in via Instagram. Says, allowing a communist sympathizing company like Gojin is parallel to the movie They Live with Roddy Piper. I love that movie. They Live is so good. What's the famous line in there? I've come to kick butt and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of bubblegum. But also, they've got that scene in there where he's at the gas station, he has the glasses on, and he sees somebody that looks like a reptile with the glasses on. He takes it down, they look normally, and then he puts the glasses back up, and then he looks, and the person speaks into her watch and says, "We've got one that can see." Love that movie. Such a great movie. 217-629-7970. Good morning.
Greg, I wanted to say something about this potential budget not being passed or the debt, whatever. I can't even remember.
Yeah. It's essentially the government's going to shut down in a handful of days. You got 30 seconds.
The real cure to that is that the senators and reps do not get paid till there is something put in place, and I mean that should be law. If the president wants to do something, make that an executive order. They do not get paid. Nobody in the higher levels of government like that get paid until there's something put in place to where this doesn't happen.
Well, I mean, listen, there's a lot of things holding up this continuing resolution or whatever they're calling it to keep the government funded. And one of the sticking points is apparently more funding for Ukraine. And there's members of the U.S. House that are like, we want a clean bill that doesn't have that funding because that has not been thoroughly debated, let alone has a declaration of war been announced by the U.S. to continue to fund this particular conflict with Russia vis-a-vis Ukraine. So, yeah,
I agree. That's something that should not be put in here. We need to talk about that at a later date. But
I got to go. Appreciate the call. Stay tuned. More coming up.
From the Fly SPI Studios, take the easy way out. WMAY FM, Taylorville. Springfield's News and Talk is 92.7 WMAY.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Justin Finch. A barrage of Russian missile strikes hitting Ukrainian energy targets overnight. Sites in Kyiv, Kherson, Kharkiv, and Lviv were struck. This man describing what the attack sounded like to him. The violence comes as Ukraine's President Zelensky visits Washington today for meetings with lawmakers, President Biden, and others.
He's going to go to the Defense Department. We're going to go over to the Pentagon, have a chance to meet with Secretary Austin, Chairman Milley, and other leaders there.
National Security Council spokesman John Kirby. Also in Washington, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy emerging from a tense 2-hour meeting, insisting lawmakers are getting closer to a proposal to avoid a government shutdown. ABC's Rachel Scott.
Sources tell ABC News McCarthy's new plan would fund the government for 30 days with some spending cuts, establish a debt commission, and enact stricter border policies. But that proposal is a non-starter in the Senate, where Democrats are in control, and it may not even be enough to satisfy McCarthy's far-right critics in the House. If Congress does not act in the next 10 days, more than 4 million government workers could go unpaid. Former Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi saying this is no way to run Congress.
Still no deal to get striking United Auto Workers back on assembly lines. That strike going on for nearly a week. Keisha Mitchell works at a plant in Wayne, Michigan.
It's about corporate greed. They making billions of dollars off of our backs.
The automakers say they're in a financial bind as they shift to make more electric cars. And a tentative deal could be close with Hollywood studios and striking writers. Multiple news outlets are reporting both sides met on Wednesday and made significant progress. This is ABC News.
Ever have that nagging feeling that you might be leaving money on the table when you're filing your business taxes? Like your longtime bookkeeper or CPA might have missed a credit or deduction your business is eligible for. TaxReview.ai ensures you're not missing out on any state and federal tax credits or even industry or location-specific tax incentives. Plus, you may have major omissions on previous tax returns that can quickly add up to tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash for your business. Make sure you're not paying more taxes than you need to. Double-check your previous tax returns with TaxReview.ai's comprehensive artificial intelligence-driven algorithm. A licensed tax professional will review the AI recommendations, analyze your file, and tell you how much you're owed. Double-checking past tax returns could mean more money coming back to you. The analysis is completely free. Visit TaxReview.ai today to begin your free review. That's TaxReview.ai.
Well, a lot of people have been waiting for the day when shovels would go into the ground for the sports park, the sports complex over there at Legacy Point. Well, that was yesterday, and we'll talk about it with all the details. Ryan McCready from the Springfield Sangamon Growth Alliance will join us. We'll also take a look, if you're watching online, at some of the renderings they have laid out for what this beautiful park is going to look like. And really, let's get down to it, the economic benefit of this moving forward. So stay tuned. We'll get to it all with Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk. It's now 7:04.
News.
Weather.
92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story. The Springfield City Council voted on Wednesday to spend $110,000 studying the feasibility of converting the Dahlman Unit 4 power generation plant from coal to natural gas. Opponents of the measure complained that switching one fossil fuel for another was inconsistent with meeting climate change goals, while proponents countered that any conversion process will need proper study before an informed decision can be made. Compass for Kids will be holding a back-to-school brunch on Sunday at 11:30 a.m. The event at Aaron's Pavilion in Southwind Park is an annual fundraiser for the local organization that provides academic and social emotional support for underserved children and families. Come celebrate the advances students have made over the previous year with a buffet, live band, guest speaker, art auction, and more. Come learn about white-tailed deer from an expert on Friday evening at 6:30. Dan Skinner from the Illinois Department of Natural Resources will talk about the history of white-tailed deer in Illinois at the Lincoln Memorial Garden, 2301 East Lake Shore Drive in Springfield. Skinner will talk about basic deer biology and life history, current deer management, and contemporary challenges posed by chronic wasting disease. The event is free. Downtown Springfield's Kidseum of Health and Science has been approved for a grant of more than $350,000 from the Illinois Department of Natural Resources. The City Council agreed on Wednesday to front the money to Kidseum and receive reimbursement from the state once the money is appropriated. September 23rd marks the 40th anniversary of Republican Governor Thompson's signing the Illinois Educational Labor Relations Act into law. The governor's administration hammered out an agreement with the Illinois Education Association that allowed collective bargaining for teachers and led to limits on class sizes, more funding for special education, and other advancements in Illinois classrooms. Your WMAY dependable forecast is next on Springfield's News and Talk.
News brought to you by Illinois Paving. It's paving season, and Illinois Paving is here to help. Call Cousin Bill today for your free estimate. Visit ilpaving.com.
Shoes, Brews, and Biz is back. The Greater Springfield Chamber of Commerce's 5th annual Shoes, Brews, and Biz will be on Thursday, October 5th at the LRS hangar at 5 p.m. Shoes, Brews, and Biz will feature Springfield's favorite horseshoes and craft beers from local restaurants and breweries. Advance tickets are $20, and that will include samples of unique horseshoes and craft beers, along with the rare opportunity to tour the car and motorcycle collection owned by Dick Levi of Levi, Ray, and Shoup Incorporated. Call for tickets at 525-1173 or visit gscc.org. That's 525-1173 or gscc.org. The Chamber's Shoes, Brews, and Biz, Thursday, October 5th at the LRS hangar by presenting sponsor Bank and Trust Company, premier sponsors Green Volkswagen Audi, Nob Hill Landscape Company, Springfield Clinic, and this station.
AJ's Corner would like to thank the community for years of support and would like to invite you to come in and check out their newly remodeled facility. AJ's Corner is a proud supporter of Glenwood Titans football and in fact will be hosting a post-game party on their recently updated patio after every Titans home game. AJ's Corner has been a part of Chatham for years, and they're looking forward to another exciting season of Glenwood football. Go Titans!
Clock Tower Community Bank, a division of Morton Community Bank, is more than just a place to keep your money. They care about you, your family, your favorite business, and the charities you support. Clock Tower Community Bank offers a full range of personal and business banking services. With 6 convenient locations in Springfield and Chatham, our experienced local bankers are here for you in every way. They're local people making local decisions for local success. So if you're looking for a bank that's everything you want in a community bank, visit Clock Tower Community Bank today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
When your people are ready, your business is ready. Cintas makes sure they have what they need to perform their best. Whether it's freshly laundered work apparel for almost any job imaginable, fire protection systems that are tested and inspected, first aid and safety supplies, floor mats, or cleaning tools and restroom products, stocked and ready when you need them. Better work days happen together, so visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Now, your dependable forecast on 92.7 WMAY.
Cloudy skies expected today with a chance for scattered thunderstorms. Daytime highs approaching 74. Southeasterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance for scattered thunderstorms. Tonight, lows level off around 64. Mainly cloudy skies expected. Overcast skies. Tomorrow, chance for scattered thunderstorms. High temperatures reach up to 79. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Currently, it's 63.
Whoa! We can't clean up that search history. But we can clean your office, your school, your church, or other awesome workplace. Get your free estimate online at cleanimpactllc.com. Impact. Clean Impact. Can't clean up your dirty martini? But we can clean your office, your school, your church, hospital, or other amazing workplace. Get your free estimate online at cleanimpactllc.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Shop the largest selection of Amish and American-made furniture all in one location at Hendricks Home Furnishings. From living room upholstery and accent tables to bedroom, dining room, and home office furniture. Select your sizes, wood finishes, colors, leathers, and fabrics of your choice. At Hendricks, the options are endless for style and comfort that will last a lifetime. Come shop Amish and American-made furniture on sale now. Hendricks Home Furnishings in Verdon and online at hendricks.tv, where you can always talk to the owners.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
I remember years ago hearing about an idea of a sports complex coming to Springfield, and it was kind of one of those elusive things, reminiscent of, a Springfield episode of Simpsons episode of the monorail. But now we have a new iteration with a bunch of individuals and companies and stakeholders coming together to make it happen. It is the Legacy Point Shields Sports Complex, and they put the shovel in the ground yesterday. To talk more about this, Ryan McCready, he's with Springfield Sangamon Growth Alliance. And this was a big day yesterday, Ryan.
A very big day, and you're right, it's been talked about for a long time. I will say the conversations in earnest started, just over 3 years ago, in the conversations with the city council and all the other bodies that would have to come together to make this thing happen. It's a long journey. I appreciate that the developers, Steve Luker and Dirk McCormick, stuck with it. Also very much involved was Scott Dahl from the Convention Visitors Bureau and the Springfield Hotel Lodging Association too. Those are some folks that were involved early on in doing the market assessments and the studies. Once we got past that point where we could say, look, everybody says this is a moneymaker, then it became more of an economic development project. So Scott, as he keeps saying, passed the baton over to the Growth Alliance and others to bring it where we are today. So it's very exciting.
And yesterday, the I guess is it a groundbreaking ceremony? I mean, you had the shovels and everything. I heard about the shovels you had ready.
It was quite a celebration. Someone told me 300 people there for the groundbreaking.
Wow.
And it was great to see the support from the community, all the folks that showed up out there. Yes, we had the gold shovels because somebody in town said, I'll believe it when I see the gold shovels turning. So I put a note to myself, all right, I need gold shovels. So couple, 5 cans of gold spray paint, you can make anything gold. And we had a good celebration yesterday.
Good to hear. And of course, a lot of look ahead into the future of what this is going to mean for the city. Of course, we'll touch on that. But for people who are looking for more information and even some renderings, of course, during the news conference, there were renderings that were offered up, and we're looking at some of those if you're watching on the live stream here of those renderings. Of course, the Shields Sports Park at Legacy Point, and it looks gorgeous, Ryan. So if you can kind of see this over my shoulder, explain what we're looking at here.
I can't quite see it, but
so it's an overview of the park. It looks like outdoor and indoor type of facilities.
The park itself is the actual facilities are over 70 acres in size. When we include roads and retention, it's over 90. All turf fields, so 8 multi-purpose turf fields. And yes, we know there's parks in the area that have turf baseball fields, but listen to what I'm saying, multi-purpose. Softball, baseball, big kid baseball, little kid baseball, lacrosse, flag football. They're multi-purpose turf fields. Another feature is this 190,000 square foot dome structure. So to give you an idea how big this is, if you look at the Shields building, the dome is taller than the building and twice as long.
Oh, wow.
That gives you some concept of how big it is. It'll have 6 full-size basketball courts in it and a turf field inside of it. Those can be 12 volleyball courts, 18 pickleball courts, whatever new sport becomes popular, because there's always one on the horizon that we need to be thinking about. This will not be like anything you see in the Midwest, certainly not in Illinois. Having Shields there as an anchor is very unique. The other unique factor of this is privately developed and privately financed, and that's very unique too.
Ryan McCready with us. He is the executive director. What's your title?
President. But
president.
Yeah, that's
okay.
all right.
Of the Springfield Sangamon Growth Alliance, talking about the sports complex where shovels were in the ground yesterday. Of course, this had to wait for a few of the pieces of public bodies approving things, including extending the tax issue in that area.
Sure.
What are some of the other things that still need to happen? Are there a few things that still need to kind of drop into place?
There's going to be a couple more items that come before the city council now that we know for sure about the bond issuances and things like that. So there's going to be another tweak to the developers agreement because you have to have those kind of documents all lined up. You will see probably additional users of the facility come forward. One of the things that we spent a good bit of time doing was getting the support of all the public bodies. So not only the city council, but the county board, the airport authority, District 186, Lincoln Land Community College, the SMEA board, the Springfield Park District. I'm going to miss somebody and get in trouble. But if they're a local governmental body, those folks need to tell them thanks when you see them, because most of these sports complexes, Greg, are built by a public body. So a city or park district borrows all the money, builds it, and hopes it works. That puts the risk on all the taxpayers. Since they're usually built by public bodies, they don't usually have a property tax component to them. And so to keep our complex competitive from a pricing standpoint, we had to be able to have those property taxes abated, and that's why that was needed. But the arrangement in District 186 is unique because they get a use of the facility too. So our local students will be out there enjoying these state-of-the-art facilities.
Well, and I imagine too that's going to be great for practice and just play as well.
That's right. And District 186 not having to build all their own facilities for this middle school students that they need is a big benefit too. So yeah, it's very exciting the way this community project came together. And up to a dozen local banks coming together to finance this thing. It's just, there are so many things that happen that are really inspiring.
So obviously, we're going to be waiting to see the final pieces get put into place, but shovels in the ground yesterday for the Shields Sports Park at Legacy Point. If people want to see more about this, they can actually go and visit the website, legacypointe.net. So Point's got that E on the end. What is that, Old English or something? Or it's like Crowney Plaza and Medicine Shoppy. So just make sure you put that in there, the E at the end of Point, so legacypoints.net, and you'll be able to see renderings of this and all the details about it. But Ryan McCready with the Sangamon and Springfield Growth Alliance, talk again about just the economic benefit of this, because this is going to be huge for hotel stays.
Sure.
And the city gets a lot of money from hotel-motel tax.
That's right. It's going to drive, I think the mayor said yesterday, 50,000 additional rooms that we're going to need to support these activities. To think about, this facility could host a 120-team soccer tournament for a weekend. None of those 12-year-old kids drive themselves here to these events. They bring their whole families with them. We're estimating about $30 million in direct spending from individuals more than 90 miles away from Springfield annually. So those dollars go right back into our economy, the hotel-motel tax money, and then the benefit to small businesses also. So this isn't something that just benefits a big company. That's what we're inspired about. The business district that's set up to support that facility is larger now, so there's space for new development out there. The small businesses that are there at the site, whether it's Ingrained Brewing or Casa Real or Legacy Point Eatery or, the hotel, Spring Hill Suites that are out there, the folks that have been out there a long time waiting for this, they're going to see a benefit too. So there is an unbelievable economic impact, and you're going to see people all over town in jerseys and sports outfits while they're taking a break from their tournaments.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty incredible. And then those families, they're going to have to go shopping somewhere as well, right? I mean, that's going to have to happen, and they're going to be eating at the restaurants and laying down in the hotels. So that's going to be a great benefit for the local economy. When do we see all of this? I guess you crack the champagne bottle on it, so to speak.
That's right. Yeah, it's a great question. So weather dependent, the beans will be harvested at the site this weekend. And
I thought that was another kind of crack the champagne bottle. The beans are going to be harvested. You're talking literally, not figuratively. The beans are going to be harvested this weekend. And
right.
Okay.
And then they'll start. You'll see the silt barrier and the heavy construction work starting on Monday out there at the site. They will be stretching turf spring summer of 24.
Okay.
Early 25 will be the projected big grand opening. There is some hope with cooperation from Mother Nature, who's our most unpredictable family member here.
Right.
But with her cooperation, they could do some events out there in a dome, maybe late 24. But 25 is going to be the big year when they're really able to host full-scale tournaments.
Well, this is exciting, no question about it. Yep. Ryan McCready, president of the Springfield Sangamon Growth Alliance. Greatly appreciate you taking the time with us, and we'll definitely be talking again in the future about this as all the pieces start coming together.
I appreciate you spending the time to talk about it today. Thank you.
No question. It is Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. Now at 7:20, let's take a look at Springfield's dependable weather with a high today of around 74. We have a chance of showers with overcast skies right now, a chance of showers throughout the day with a low of 62. Friday, the high of 78 with a chance of showers. Saturday, mostly sunny, the high of 82, and Sunday, 50-50 chance of showers, the high of 76. Right now, it's 62 degrees at 7:21 from Culver's West on Wabash.
It's time to apply at Culver's West on Wabash. We're hiring all positions, and did we mention free food? Only at Culver's West on Wabash.
Ever notice how other stores that sell mattresses have middlemen that are so meddling with their extra costs and overpricing? At Verlo, there is no middleman. Verlo builds all their own mattresses, then sells directly to you, so you get higher quality for the lowest price. No greedy extra charges for things that have nothing to do with your mattress. Some people call that consumer direct pricing.
I just call it SMART. Wake up. Sleep better. Verlo.
Most mattress manufacturers build only mattresses that cannot be flipped. To keep costs low, they resort to using cheaper foam, which breaks down quicker and eventually leaves your mattress with a body impression. At Verlo, we put better quality components into our single-sided mattresses. We back them with the best guarantees in the industry. Stop in and see us this month and you'll get second side savings. If you choose a double-sided mattress, we'll double your savings. Verlo Mattress. We're not just building a better mattress, we're building a better night's sleep for less.
Get $500 off with second side savings now at Verlo.
Here's one thing that psychologists and therapists believe to be a key step to achieving better mental health: meditation. It starts with proper breathing. By breathing in slowly for 5 or 10 seconds and exhaling, counting the same way, for just a few minutes each day has been a big deal for many people as they reach a new level of relaxation. Now, that's just a start. If your feelings of depression and hopelessness are accentuated with drugs and alcohol, then you may need some professional help. The team of nurses, counselors, physicians, and psychiatrists at Gateway Foundation understand that. They know what you're going through, and they can show you the way out. Gateway also uses meditation as a key component of their successful treatment. Your insurance covers the cost, and the Family Medical Leave Act protects your job. If your situation appears hopeless, make the confidential call to Gateway at 877-505-HOPE and start feeling better today. Gateway Foundation. Addiction medicine, saving lives.
Wherever you stand on the strike of United Auto Workers, there's one thing that I think is clear, that you could see consumer prices increase. And that's something you need to think about when you're heading out to purchase a new vehicle. Mike Quimby from Green Hyundai standing by to tell you how they have pre-strike prices. Mike?
Hey, we do, Greg. And no question, whether it goes on for 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, the strike will raise the price of the vehicles because the manufacturer will take the cost of building the vehicles to the dealer in a higher priced product. Okay. So right now will be the lowest priced product that you see on the ground, and it doesn't matter who makes the car. So we've got a great stock, 110 new Hyundais on the ground and ready to go. We have interest rates too that are still low. They're not going down. They seem to be going up. We've got 1.9% available on select Hyundais with approved credit. It's just kind of a good time to buy. If you're in the market within the next 6 months to a year, you won't get a better price than you will right now, especially when we're trying to get ready to move November the 1st to new facility on Stanford Avenue. So come on out and see us. The old Dirksen facility. We're directly in front of good old J.C. Penney's for your car dealer, Green Hyundai.
Mike Quimby, Green Hyundai, and have a great day.
Appreciate it, Greg. Thank you.
So when was the last time you saw a best deal guarantee?
You mean a promise that actually held up?
Right.
That some unknown online entity didn't want you to log in and download a code and then re-verify as you join some club.
Drives you nuts, I know.
And then once you purchase that set of steak knives...
Well, Dick Van Dyke Appliance World is a lot simpler. You find a verified great deal and they beat it. Just show them the deal you saw. A newspaper clipping or the online cart price will do, and then you're good.
At Dick Van Dyke Appliance World, it's one of those instances where you see a best deal guarantee and...
you get the best deal.
This is Dennis Rieken, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. Our exclusive 10-year protection plan comes free with most appliance purchases. Whether it's a GE, Whirlpool, Frigidaire, Bosch, or any of our 30 brands, I guarantee we will beat any competitor's deal. Wow!
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
Marilyn Nash. I like all the people here. They all treat me nice. Like since my sister moved here, it's been better because if I want to go upstairs or if I want to argue with her, I can. You know, I mean, we're sisters, right? But yeah, I like just about everything here.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
If your computer screen is showing some unusual stuff, it could be the result of all of those downloads, Zoom meetings, spreadsheets, or just all of those system updates. It may be time for some badly needed repairs. With a flat labor fee and in-stock parts included, repairing your computers is easy at BLH Computers. Check out BLH Computers in Taylorville, Jacksonville, also in Springfield, and always online at blhcomputers.com.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop. Listen on demand at WMAY.com. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
This is an issue that's going to cause, I think, widespread tax increases, widespread cuts to government services, or a mixture of the two.
That's Jonathan Williams from the American Legislative Exchange Council. Chatted with him yesterday about their most recent study showing that Illinois has the second largest per capita cost when it comes to public sector pensions. And we're talking $37,000 per man, woman, and child in the state of Illinois. Second to only Alaska, which has a per capita pension cost of around $40-some-odd thousand. But overall, nationwide, $7 trillion of unfunded liability that taxpayers ultimately have to cover. And that breaks down for each man, woman, and child around $22,000 nationwide. But in Illinois, it's the second highest per capita cost at $37,000. So I talked with Williams yesterday to kind of get an idea of what exactly is behind these numbers that they found, and here's some of what he had to say.
There's not a whole lot of good news for the state of Illinois when it comes to the unfunded pension liabilities in the state. It's going to be no surprise to the taxpayers of Illinois that have seen this coming for a very long time. But looking at the most recent report and the new numbers from the official state financial reports, and then taking them into consideration through what we think is a much more reasonable lens through which to view state pensions, and we see the liabilities are truly in a really a scary scenario for Illinois for the future. Looking at nearly $37,000 in unfunded liabilities for every man, woman, and child in the state of Illinois. As you mentioned, second worst in the country. You also look at the overall unfunded liability, second worst in the country, with nearly $500 billion in unfunded liabilities in Illinois alone, based on our criteria. And then the other thing you look at, funding ratio, Illinois second worst, and then so I guess if there's something to be said, there's consistency at the bottom of the rankings for Illinois, and all of the different categories we look at. Illinois is among the worst in the nation.
So Jonathan Williams again with American Legislative Exchange Council, their 7th annual report on public sector pensions and the costs to taxpayers. While Illinois was second to last, you have states like Indiana that are near the top. And he talked about how indeed these states that are doing well are having some innovative ideas advanced to deal with the growing obligations.
When you look at the states that have the lowest unfunded liabilities, let's say per capita, many of those states have either moved to make sure that they're making these annual payments as the defined benefit plans get more expensive. They just continue to appropriate more taxpayer dollars, and there can be some real arguments over whether that's a wise use of taxpayer dollars or not, but they've just put the amount of money in to keep their plans at least relatively well funded. But then you look at places like Tennessee or Wisconsin or others that do well in our report, and these are states that have begun to share the risk and share the liabilities, really, for it's not just the taxpayers on the hook. If there's a downturn, let's say in Wisconsin, which is at least in a percent funded ratio, the best funded plan in America, with over 60% funded ratio in our calculations, there is a way that now the risk risk is shared not just among taxpayers, but workers as well would need to increase their own contributions to the plan if their investment returns fall short of their goal. And so we've seen some really innovative ways that states have begun to tackle liabilities.
So what are those ways? And if they're not tackled in a state like Illinois with $140 billion, at least to the Auditor General's numbers, it could lead to some negative things.
But it is an existential issue. And if states don't tackle these unfunded liabilities that now total nearly $7 trillion around the country, this is an issue that's going to cause, I think, widespread tax increases, widespread cuts to government services, or a mixture of the two.
Now, state lawmakers have been holding hearings about the ongoing pension woes. What kind of political will there be to actually advance some kind of change to shore up these costs? Because 1 out of every $5 that the state spends in taxes it brings in is going to public sector pensions. That's just the 5 pension funds the state operates. That doesn't take into account the public safety pensions across the state, fire and police. In some areas, there's an incredible amount of unfunded liability and other pension funds as well, including up in Chicago that has their own problems. So obviously, this is going to be an ongoing conversation on how to deal with all of this. We'll be tracking it, of course. Will it come up during veto session? Probably not, but definitely when they return for the second year of the 2-year term for this legislature. We'll be watching to see if they bring forward any kind of pension changes. But the bottom line is Illinois has the second highest per capita liability for unfunded pension liabilities amid the entire country. All right, stay tuned. We'll talk about another big deal coming to Springfield, and that's Breeze Airways with new service to 2 locations in Florida from Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport. Stay tuned. We'll talk with Mark Hanna from the Airport Authority about that and more. Stay tuned. 7:34 now from Culver's West on Wabash.
92.7 WMAY.
Here are the 3 big things you need to know.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story. The state treasurer's office reported that it made a record $124.6 million in investment earnings from the state investment portfolio in August, and local jurisdictions made another $91.7 million in gross investment earnings through the Illinois Fund's local government investment pool. Key monthly metrics and more are available in The Vault, the transparency website that allows Illinois residents to see how the state treasurer's office is working for them. Link to the site can be found at WMAY.com. Downtown Springfield's Kidseum of Health and Science has been approved for a grant of more than $350,000 from the Illinois Department of Natural Resources. The City Council agreed on Wednesday to front the money to Kidseum and receive reimbursement from the state once the money is appropriated. A special delivery of space dust will land in the Utah desert next week. A probe called OSIRIS-REx left Earth in 2016 and landed on an asteroid called Bennu in 2020. It collected a sample from the surface and will enter Earth's atmosphere on September 24th after a 3-year journey home. Scientists expect to retrieve 1 or 2 pounds of material, which they believe will yield clues about the composition of the solar system billions of years ago. Compass for Kids will be holding a back-to-school brunch on Sunday at 11:30 a.m. The event at Aaron's Pavilion in Southwind Park is an annual fundraiser for the local organization that provides academic and social emotional support for underserved children and families. Come celebrate the advances students have made over the previous year with a buffet, live band, guest speaker, art auction, and more. Come learn about white-tailed deer from an expert on Friday evening at 6:30. Dan Skinner from the Illinois Department of Natural Resources will talk about the history of white-tailed deer in Illinois at the Lincoln Memorial Garden, 2301 East Lake Shore Drive in Springfield. Skinner will talk about basic deer biology and life history, current deer management, and contemporary challenges posed by chronic wasting disease. The event is free. The Citizens Club of Springfield will meet Friday morning at 8 o'clock. Their guest speaker will be Mike Murphy, President and CEO of the Greater Springfield Chamber of Commerce, who will discuss the history, mission, and core values of the Chamber, as well as Chamber programs and challenges. Moderator will be retired reporter Bernie Schoenberg. The event is free and will be held at the Hoagland Center for the Arts. The Springfield City Council voted on Wednesday to spend $110,000 studying the feasibility of converting the Dahlman Unit 4 power generation plant from coal to natural gas. Opponents of the measure complained that switching one fossil fuel for another was inconsistent with meeting climate change goals, while proponents countered that any conversion process will need proper study before an informed decision can be made. Your WMAY dependable forecast is next on Springfield's News and Talk.
News sponsored by Just Beds. A great night's sleep starts with a visit to the yawn exterminators at Just Beds. Online at justbedsinc.com.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power. Batteries of all shapes and sizes. Excellent service. Exceptional value.
They're called Motobat batteries, and we have them at Rex. Motobats are batteries for motorcycles that are powerful enough to handle all your accessories. As you add new gadgets to your motorcycle, the standard factory battery may not be enough to handle it all. The Motobat battery is designed to send enough juice to the whole motorcycle and keep you moving down the road. At Rex Battery, we have all kinds of batteries for all kinds of vehicles. The Motobat battery has a quad flex terminal design, shortening the path to the battery cable. That means you get quicker power delivery and improved starting ability. If you have a motorcycle, you need Motobat. Rex Battery on Clear Lake, just west of Dirksen.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power.
Guess who's in charge of arranging the corporate event this year? Now, where to start?
Conn's Catering and Events has you covered. A quick call or visit with the experts at Conn's will save you time while making you look like an excellent planner.
Well, this event is a real monster. We'll need a bunch of options.
Like a customizable menu tailored to your specific needs and preferences?
That would be one easy solution.
From full-service events like the one you're planning to drop-off catering like a quick meal to feed the office, Conn's will have people complimenting you on the excellent choices.
Sounds like this is going to be a permanent addition to my job description.
Because you're not settling for anything less than extraordinary. Give Conn's a call. They'll help you turn the event into a complete success as you make that lasting impression on your clients, employees, and guests.
Call Angie at 217-523-4466 or visit Cons at conshg.com to set up your corporate dining experience today.
Now, your dependable forecast on 92.7 WMAY.
Cloudy skies expected today with a chance for scattered thunderstorms. Daytime highs approaching 74. Southeasterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance for scattered thunderstorms tonight. Lows level off around 64. Mainly cloudy skies expected. Overcast skies tomorrow. Chance for scattered thunderstorms. High temperatures reach up to 79. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Currently, it's 63.
Hi there. Just want to park myself here for 1 minute and tell you about the fine folks over at BLH Computers. They are the place to take that computer. I'm talking about that laptop, that desktop. When strange things start to occur, some things are popping up on the screen. You're using your computer for business. You're also using it for personal stuff. You're downloading files, hopping on and off of Zoom meetings. You got the tabs open. You got the spreadsheets, the Facebook, the Twitter, the Instagram. Your email is in there. And all the updates are coming down from Microsoft, your antivirus software, and more. It can slow things down, and that is why it's time to get some repairs done at BLH Computers. If you buy a computer from BLH Computers, you get the BLH guarantee. That means no labor charge, in-stock parts are free. Even if you don't buy the computer at BLH Computers, just a flat labor charge. In-stock parts are still included, so you can keep things running quickly and efficiently with the help of the team at BLH Computers. They are in Springfield, Jacksonville, also over in Taylorville. Follow them on the socials and check them out online. BLHcomputers.com.
Hey, it's Breeze Airways, the seriously nice airline that wants to fly you to your next vacation. Fly nonstop from Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport in Springfield to Orlando and Tampa Bay, faster and easier than ever before. We don't charge change or cancellation fees, so you can book with complete peace of mind. Go to flybreeze.com or download the Breeze app to book your trip. Breeze Airways, seriously nice.
Blood donors rock at Impact Life because saving lives is in their bones. Now, through October 31st, all donors who register to give blood will be eligible for their choice of a $10 gift card or a limited edition Blood Donors Rock long-sleeved Halloween-themed t-shirt. Give what's in your heart today and register to donate blood before October 31st. Visit our donor center on Wabash in Springfield or on Main Street in Decatur. We are changing the world together. Visit bloodcenter.org.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
Always good to talk to my next guest in studio about things happening at the Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport. Mark Hanna, he is the executive director of the Airport Authority, and he joins us to talk about big news announced this week about Breeze Airways. Mark, take it away. What's the announcement here?
Hey, Greg. Thanks for having me in, and good morning to all your listeners. So, just this week, we announced nonstop service to Orlando International Airport and Tampa International Airport on a brand new startup airline, Breeze Airways. Breeze Airways is coming out of the pandemic, and it was an airline that had plans prior to, and they are really hitting the ground running post-pandemic, and they're actively growing throughout many markets on the East Coast, and they're reaching out to the West, the Western markets as well, and Springfield is the very first airport, Springfield's very first city in the entire state of Illinois to actually be host to this new airline.
That's great.
We're super excited to have Breeze Airways, into Springfield, and they're going to be flying on Mondays and Fridays, and they'll start December 1st out of Springfield's Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport into Orlando, and the Tampa service will start the following Monday on the 4th of December. So super excited. This is a long time coming to add some additional service to the airport. We understand the industry has been challenged with numerous situations with staffing and equipment and fuel and pricing and inflationary pressures all over the place in every sector of the industry, as you and many of your listeners are experiencing throughout the last year or so. So this is a huge win for Springfield. It's actually a great week for Springfield, especially with the development down with Shields Park and the sports complex down there. It's just an awesome week for Springfield, and certainly we hope that this new airline will attract not just local, but regional. There'll be a regional draw from this when we go out and talk to airlines. Of course, we talk about our organic, regional, or immediate demand, and then also we look at the regional demand if they bring in a market that they think will really appeal to the masses as well. And these are destinations that aren't necessarily served directly from Central Illinois. That is right into Orlando International and Tampa International Airport. So Breeze will be flying a 137-seat Airbus 220-300 aircraft. They're brand new airplanes. They're very efficient, they're very quiet, and they have it configured, the aircraft configured into three different fare types: nice, which is your standard economy class, and nicer, it's in the middle of the aircraft, a little bit more legroom, and I believe you get a free check bag with that package. Or nicest is their first class package. The Ascent package, or nicest, I believe you get two free check bags, free snacks and drinks and all that type of stuff, and a lot more legroom. So they do offer a first class option. I know that there are a lot of people that do enjoy the additional legroom, the priority boarding, and things of that nature. So while they are in the industry considered a ultra low cost carrier, they really dub themselves as the first nice low-cost carrier in the United States, and because they do offer a number of travel options within the cabin, and also they allow free cancellations 15 minutes. If something happens and you have to cancel your trip or rebook it, they will allow you to cancel and delay your trip, and they'll give you credit for up to 15 minutes prior to your departure. So they really want to offer the flexibility, and they're really steering people toward their app and their website, flybreeze.com. And they really are geared toward customer service, and they made a point to tell me that, yes, they do have the chat rooms, and put your information in if you have a question about your flight or some type of situation that you may encounter throughout your travels. There is a real person behind that communication with you in the chat. So it's not like you're just going to a bot and going through 18,000 different questions before it gets directed to the right person. So they do have real people managing their customer service, and they know that a lot of people have devices and phones and things of that nature, and that's where they want to provide accessibility for the customers, because when you're traveling on the fly, it's a lot easier, and you're not going to be on hold for 15 hours straight. You put in your situation, and they'll be back in touch with you, through the chat process.
Mark Hanna is the executive director of the Springfield Airport Authority, here with us in studio talking about Breeze Airways and the options now coming to Springfield starting December 1st. You've got 2 locations they're going to be flying down to Florida. Talk about how that adds to the other flights out of Springfield that there are currently in place.
Yeah, absolutely. Excuse me. American Airlines is flying twice daily to Chicago's O'Hare International Airport, and we cannot discount the importance of what we call the industry the network carrier. That's American Airlines. You fly to Chicago, you can virtually connect anywhere. And of course, our beloved Allegiant Airlines, who's been with us for well over a decade, flying down to Punta Gorda, Florida, as we know that there is a large affinity to that Gulf Coast of Florida right here in Springfield, in our immediate region, into Fort Myers Beach, Naples, Marco, and even points further to the north. And also, Sunseeker is a brand new resort that Allegiant is opening up, and it's going to be stone's throw from the Punta Gorda Airport as well. So Allegiant continues to be a very important partner for us, and a very well-traveled carrier to that destination down in Florida. These 2 destinations will help. They'll augment that. In the industry, we feel activity breeds activity. More people through the terminal, more people looking at the options, more people seeing how easy it is to get to the Springfield Airport through the doors, through security. You dwell at the secure lounge for a little bit, you board your flight, and you're on your way to nonstop direct right into Tampa and or Orlando International, which we really feel are very convenient options for travelers, vacationers that want to get in close proximity to Walt Disney World, the theme parks, and those very popular destinations. And we also have heard a number of folks talk about using this service for business travel back and forth to Florida for various remote offices that businesses, corporations may have in Springfield or vice versa, to use this as an alternative to other means of travel.
This really is going to be just absolutely fantastic, especially for people looking for that quick getaway to Florida. And you got a promotional price right now that, how long is that, $49 one way? How long does that last?
You have to book by the end of September and fly before, I believe, the end of April. So we really encourage people to get on their phones, download the app, and really shop around and see if you can find something that works for you and your family. But they also have a feature, too, where you can group families together as well. So they don't like to split families up throughout the aircraft as well. So they will work with you and your loved ones to get you seated together as well. So take advantage of that great airfare. There are a lot of different options with this airline, and if this works, the data says that it will. We have a large number of people that want, need, and do fly to Orlando, and we know in our region when you're flying to Orlando but not flying out of the Springfield Airport. So we have that data, and that is why these destinations are top of our list, because we understand that that's where people want to go. And in this industry, a lot of it is about timing. Does the aircraft have the availability, the pilots, the resources, and of course the the local community too is very much engaged. The Springfield Segment Growth Alliance to really make this thing work for everybody.
Yeah, just a few things here that I do want to touch on real quick before we let you go. We'll talk about a promotion that Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport's doing with our sister stations, where you can win a trip as a grand prize to Las Vegas. We'll touch on that, but Mark, it's not just the commercial air flights out of Springfield, right? It's the training that Lincoln Land's doing. It's the focus of getting young people into aviation. I mean, it's such an asset here in Springfield, the capital city, to have those things on location so we can fill the future with those future jobs.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We can't say enough good things about our federal delegation who help us with the federal programs that we can maximize the efficiency and effectiveness of those programs to help with our modernization, preservation of our infrastructure. But you're exactly right. And we hope as many people as possible were able to come out to the 75th anniversary open house to see all that there is beyond air service at the airport with Lincoln Land Community College airframe and power plant. In addition to pilots, AvTechs, aviation technicians, are in very high demand across the industry. And you graduate that school, 18 months program. You can go a mile across the airport, and you're ready to go right into the workforce with Standard Aero at a nearly head of household wages and salaries. Standard Aero themselves are a huge impact to the community. Many people don't think or forget or may not recognize that they have hundreds of employees out there at the airport. They're going to have some exciting announcements coming out in October about the partnership with the airport and how we're doing some major multi-million-dollar renovations to their facility. And a little tickler for your listeners, we feel that we may have a very significant announcement coming mid to late October as well about training students and future aviation professionals. So that there's a lot going on, and we just kicked off that large solar farm out of the north side as well that will serve, and it's offered Standard Aero to recommit to Springfield for the long term as well. So there's a lot of good things going on, and we will these two routes with Breeze, we will grow with Breeze. They will look at additional routes once these two routes, what they feel good about the trajectory and what they call the booking curve, how well they book out into the future, and they do have room to grow. So certainly we know that there are destinations out west that people would love to connect to nonstop direct from Springfield.
Fantastic stuff. Mark Hanna, he is the executive director of the Springfield Airport Authority. And while we've got you here, just want to tell people about what our sister stations are doing, including QLZ. If you go to WQLZ.com, you can see the QLZ Pro Football Challenge that the Lincoln Capital Airport is sponsoring. And actually, all you got to do is make some picks. And if you get those picks, you're entered to win. And huge prizes. They're going to have a 5-day, 4-night trip to Las Vegas. All right, a 5-day, 4-night trip to Las Vegas is the grand prize. That's awesome. Second place gets a $500 rebate through Fly SPI. And that can get you to a lot of places. So be sure to head over and register today at WQLZ.com or at our sister station, The Lake, or at WNNS. So make that happen. Mark, again, thank you so much for taking time. We'll talk again soon, all right?
Hey, thanks so much, Greg.
It is Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk, now 7:55.
Culver's West on Wabash is hiring for all shifts and all positions. Apply today in person.
Glenwood Titans football lives here.
The Glenwood Titans finish up a 2-week road trip in Decatur this Friday night, week number 5 against the MacArthur Generals. Mike Wenmacher will talk with Coach David Hay during the Titans pregame show at 6:30 this Friday night. Complete game coverage begins at 7 p.m.
Your home for Glenwood Titans football is 92.7 WMAY.
Presented by Illinois Paving. Driveway problems? Not a problem. Call Cousin Bill, IslePaving.com.
Reel in everything you need to catch fish at V. Hayes Bait and Tackle, 422 South 11th Street in Springfield. Mad Cats, Crappie Monster, Zoom, Catfish Sumo, Daiwa, Zebco, Eagle Claw, Ancient Mariner, Kamagatsu, Guggen, and Skipjack. Plus, get your fishing license, even hunting license, and live bait including minnows and crickets. More inventory arriving daily. Check out their new store today. Find them on Facebook, too. Open 7 days a week, 5 a.m. until 6 p.m. V. Hayes Bait and Tackle, BHAYES. Springfield's newest addition for everything fishing.
Cousin Bill here with Illinois Paving. Do you need a new driveway? Did you drag your feet this summer? Well, call now before the season ends. When other contractors say no, Illinois Paving will say yes, with immediate openings available, whether it's asphalt or hot tar and chip. Call Cousin Bill, 788-7777. 788-7777. IslePaving.com.
Some people would call him a loser. He ran for state office. He was beaten.
He started a business. He failed. He ran for Congress. He lost. He was nominated for vice president. He lost again. But he knew only those who never tried are the real losers. And Abraham Lincoln was no loser. Persistence. Pass it on. From the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.
Heart failure, carpal tunnel syndrome, shortness of breath, stomach issues, lower back pain. How does it all add up? If you have heart failure and any of those seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, it's time to talk with your cardiologist and get the full picture. They may add up to transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy. ATTR-CM is a rare and underdiagnosed disease. Recognize the signs and discuss them with your doctor soon. Learn more at connectwithyourheart.com. That's connectwithyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Here at Warren Boynton State Bank, we're proud to be a true community bank since 1877. We remind you that the goal of a community bank is to work together with our customers and communities to help move them forward in positive ways. When we accept your deposits, we invest that money right back into this area, into homes, farms, and small businesses. One of our primary goals is to help this community in any way we can. And because we've invested in you, our friends and neighbors, our bank is safe and sound and in business to stay. We're sincere in our care and concern for this community. Our employers, directors, and managers are people you know, people who are dedicated to making this a better place to live. Discover what a true community bank is at Warren Boynton State Bank, 3030 Spring Mill Drive in Springfield. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Warren Boynton, your bank.
Ever notice how other stores that sell mattresses have middlemen that are so meddling with their extra costs and overpricing? At Verlo, there is no middleman. Verlo builds all their own mattresses, then sells directly to you, so you get higher quality for the lowest price. No greedy extra charges for things that have nothing to do with your mattress. Some people call that consumer direct pricing. I just call it smart. Wake up. Sleep better. Verlo.
Most mattress manufacturers build only mattresses that cannot be flipped. To keep costs low, they resort to using cheaper foam, which breaks down quicker and eventually leaves your mattress with a body impression. At Verlo, we put better quality components into our single-sided mattresses. We back them with the best guarantees in the industry. Stop in and see us this month and you'll get second-side savings. If you choose a double-sided mattress, we'll double your savings. Verlo Mattress. We're not just building a better mattress, we're building a better night's sleep for less.
Get $500 off with second side savings now at Verlo.
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes.
From the
Learn
Fly
other simple
SPI
ways
Studios, take the easy way out. WMAY FM, Taylorville, Springfield's news and talk is 92.7 WMAY.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Justin Finch. A new wave of Russian missile strikes hitting Ukrainian energy targets overnight, just as Ukraine's President Zelensky visits Washington looking for more help to fight back against Russia. ABC's Tom Sufi-Burrich on the ground in Ukraine in the middle of a decimated area.
Russia firing a total of 43 missiles. Ukraine's Air Force saying it shot down 36 of them. The Kremlin reverting to its tactic of targeting Ukrainian energy infrastructure sites. But overnight, a major Ukrainian attack also on Russian-occupied Crimea, striking a Russian Air Force base. All that as President Zelensky gears up for those key meetings in the U.S.
ABC News learning Zelensky will meet with lawmakers on Capitol Hill this morning, then President Biden in the afternoon, and that a new aid package will be announced in the hundreds of millions of dollars. Also in Washington, another government shutdown looms. Deadline for a new spending measure is a little more than a week away.
Sources tell ABC News McCarthy's new plan would fund the government for 30 days with some spending cuts, establish a debt commission, and enact stricter border policies. But that proposal is a non-starter in the Senate, where Democrats are in control, and it may not even be enough to satisfy McCarthy's far-right critics in the House.
ABC's Rachel Scott. Meantime, a new jobless claims report is due out this morning.
The Labor Department says the number of people who filed for unemployment benefits rose by 3,000 last week. It was the first increase in more than a month, but the overall number is still historically low. The less volatile 4-week moving average was adjusted down by about 5,000. Analysts say they're both signs it's still a job hunter's market.
ABC's Daria Albinger. New York City averting a potentially crippling school bus driver strike. A tentative deal reached with the 3 largest school bus companies serving the city. This is ABC News.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com. Or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
All right, coming up this hour, got the crime of the week, got a business spotlight. We'll open it up for some phone calls. Already touched on a whole bunch today, my gosh. But also expecting to get into more on the back and forth about Springfield Clinic and Blue Cross Blue Shield. So stay tuned for that conversation. Here with Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk. It's now 8:04.
News.
Weather.
92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story. An historic building in Springfield is one step closer to being demolished. The Springfield City Council on Wednesday approved a zoning ordinance that would allow development of a parcel of land that includes the Sportsman's Lounge located at 229 West Mason Street in Springfield. The building dates to 1866 and is one of the oldest commercial buildings in the city. Medicare officials are beginning to negotiate lower drug prices with pharmaceutical companies, at least one of which is resisting in court. Medicare had previously been prohibited from interfering with pricing decisions between manufacturers and pharmacies on the grounds that such negotiations interfered with a company's patent rights. Pharmaceutical giant Merck has filed a lawsuit against the federal government to protect pricing on drugs to treat diabetes and other chronic diseases. A special delivery of space dust will land in the Utah desert next week. A probe called OSIRIS-REx left Earth in 2016 and landed on an asteroid called Bennu in 2020. It collected a sample from the surface and will enter Earth's atmosphere on September 24th after a 3-year journey home. Scientists expect to retrieve 1 or 2 pounds of material, which they believe will yield clues about the composition of the solar system billions of years ago. Springfield City Council on Wednesday approved the appointment of Gwendolyn Harrison as director of Lincoln Library. Harrison replaces interim director Catherine Harris, who has been serving since director Summer Beck Griffith was summarily fired in May, soon after Mayor Busher took office. The Citizens Club of Springfield will meet Friday morning at 8 o'clock. Their guest speaker will be Mike Murphy, president and CEO of the Greater Springfield Chamber of Commerce, who will discuss the history, mission, and core values of the Chamber, as well as Chamber programs and challenges. Moderator will be retired reporter Bernie Schoenberg. The event is free and will be held at the Hoagland Center for the Arts. Your WMAY dependable forecast is next on Springfield's News and Talk.
Inflation is nothing more than a legal form of theft, because with every new round of money printing, the value of your 401k or IRA is decreased through the dilution of the money supply. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and while you still can, I highly recommend you consider physical gold for your retirement account. Why? Because gold provides real wealth preservation that can withstand anything. Even better, with a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group, you pay no penalties or taxes when you transfer your current retirement funds. To learn more, text the word safeguard to 989898 And my friends from Birch Gold Group will send you a free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold is the only gold IRA company I trust. So text SAFEGUARD to 989898 to request your free info kit on gold IRAs right now.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power. Batteries of all shapes and sizes. Excellent service. Exceptional value.
They're called Motobat batteries, and we have them at Rex. Motobats are batteries for motorcycles that are powerful enough to handle all your accessories. As you add new gadgets to your motorcycle, the standard factory battery may not be enough to handle it all. The Motobat battery is designed to send enough juice to the whole motorcycle and keep you moving down the road. At Rex Battery, we have all kinds of batteries for all kinds of vehicles. The Motobat battery has a quad flex terminal design, shortening the path to the battery cable. That means you get quicker power delivery and improved starting ability. If you have a motorcycle, you need Motobat. Rex Battery on Clear Lake, just west of Dirksen.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power.
Now, your dependable forecast on 92.7 WMAY.
Chance for scattered thunderstorms today, otherwise cloudy skies. High temperatures reach up to 74, southeasterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance for scattered thunderstorms tonight, lows level off around 64, mainly cloudy skies expected. Chance for scattered thunderstorms tomorrow, daytime highs approaching 79, cloudy skies expected. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Currently, it's 63.
Weather sponsored by BLH Computers in Springfield, Jacksonville, and Taylorville. Online at blhcomputers.com. Hey, it's Breeze Airways, the seriously nice airline that wants to fly you to your next vacation. Fly nonstop from Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport in Springfield to Orlando and Tampa Bay, faster and easier than ever before. We don't charge change or cancellation fees, so you can book with complete peace of mind. Go to flybreeze.com or download the Breeze app to book your trip. Breeze Airways, seriously nice.
Take the easy way out.
Guess who's in charge of arranging the corporate event this year? Now, where to start?
Cons Catering and Events has you covered. A quick call or visit with the experts at Cons will save you time while making you look like an excellent planner.
Well, this event is a real monster. We'll need a bunch of options.
Like a customizable menu tailored to your specific needs and preferences?
That would be one easy solution.
From full-service events like the one you're planning to drop-off catering like a quick meal to feed the office, Cons will have people complimenting you on the excellent choices.
Sounds like this is going to be a permanent addition to my job description.
Because you're not settling for anything less than extraordinary. Give Cons a call. They'll help you turn the event into a complete success as you make that lasting impression on your clients, employees, and guests.
Call Angie at 217-523-4466 or visit Cons at conshg.com to set up your corporate dining experience today.
To protect his home and family from disaster, Steve used courage, wisdom, and his camera phone.
That should do it.
Way to go, Steve! By simply taking digital pictures of his family's important documents, Steve can always have them stored safely online, no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI Studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
The last thing you want to think about when you're dealing with a medical issue is the back and forth between your medical provider and your insurance company and whether or not something's in network. So when those things do arise, it can really add to the stressors of taking care and focusing on your health. And we have something going on here in the Springfield area that it's impacting patients across the spectrum. And that's an ongoing dispute between Blue Cross Blue Shield and Springfield Clinic, and it deals with whether or not certain doctors are in network and plans that Blue Cross Blue Shield is promoting that Springfield Clinic says are not proper, and there's even state legislators in the area sending letters to state regulators, the Department of Insurance, asking for a more thorough investigation. Blue Cross Blue Shield already having been fined about $340,000 for not having proper adequacy with their plans when it comes to what they are offering. And you've got Democrats and Republicans here in Springfield at the State House asking for the Department of Insurance to do more, including State Representative Sue Scheer asking for essentially regulators to come in and try to do more than just fine them. What other types of things could happen? Well, to talk more about this in studio with us, we've got two individuals from Springfield Clinic, Vice President of Brand Experience and Advocacy, Zach Kirker, and also Cal Thomas, the Chief Development Officer. Gentlemen, thanks for taking time with us today.
Good morning, Greg. How are you?
Good. So I guess, what did I leave out in setting that up?
No, I think you hit it. It's been about $1 million in fines that the DOI has handed over, and they've taken it seriously. Clearly, I think the things that caught my attention about the legislative letters is both Sue Scheer, Representative Scheer, and Senator Turner asked for the stop of the sale of the plan of this, the Blue Cross plan as a result of these issues. They're clearly hearing what we've heard from patients for almost 2 years now, which is we can't find doctors. Where if Springfield Clinic isn't a network, where is it that we're supposed to go? And so, the Department of Insurance has levied the fines, and I think that what it's done is from a response standpoint from Blue Cross is little. The networks still show over 100, about 100 Springfield Clinic doctors in them. We're not in network; those doctors are not in network. And so, it certainly caught our attention that the legislators still see this as an issue and are still trying to bring attention to it.
So obviously, this impacts patients in various ways. If they do, go to a doctor that's not in network, I mean, that costs them out of pocket. Is that right?
Yeah, it's extremely confusing. We've set up a patient line that they can call to ask questions specifically about this. We also sent all of our patients letters specifically about those. There's about 92 docs or providers that are listed as in network on the directories, and we tried to explain to our patients, hey, these providers are not in network. You should be aware of that. We received a letter from Blue Cross Blue Shield telling us not to do that after we sent those letters. And so, look, I think transparency about what's available to someone who's paid their insurance premium when it comes to what they can actually access is important. I think that's what we've been asking for all along. I think that's what the legislators are clearly asking for now. And I don't think any of those things are unreasonable asks.
So with the Department of Insurance being asked to do more on this, I imagine that we'll see another page turn. But the fines, of course, you said about $1 million have been levied so far against Blue Cross Blue Shield. That doesn't seem to have changed, at least to the trajectory. Has anything changed?
No, and you got to give. I think the department, that was precedent-setting steps that they took, right? Network adequacy, the legislation around that, the statute came in 2017. They've never really had to deal with it because there's never been a situation quite like this. So, I think that it's clear that the administration, the department is trying to do all that they can in this case. But this is a bear that we've got to tackle if you want to have, the infrastructure that we've got around healthcare stay sound within our communities. And that's been the fight we're fighting. Look, we don't want this thing to drag on forever. We never have. The minute Blue Cross is willing to give us a market deal like all the others, a Cigna, an Aetna, anybody else, that we have with them, then we're done. That's it. We'll be back in network. Let's go. But that's all we've ever asked for is a fair market deal. And we just haven't gotten there yet.
That's Zach Kirker. He is Vice President of Brand Experience and Advocacy with Springfield Clinic. And I just want to kind of read here a little bit from one of these letters from State Senator Doris Turner talking about how Blue Cross Blue Shield Illinois terminated its contract with Springfield Clinic last year, eliminating access to thousands of individuals and families to one of the largest networks of primary care and specialty physicians and ambulatory care services across central Illinois, including in many rural communities. As a a result of that termination, the Department of Insurance was correct in fining the company for violating the matter. But she goes on to say that those fines, quote, appear that the matter is getting worse. So despite those dollars, they say it seems that it's getting worse in Springfield and the surrounding area.
Yeah, it just hasn't been. It continues to be a major issue for patients. You should not, if you're calling a specialist and you're being told you've got to wait 6-8 months to get into that specialist, that's not how the system is supposed to work. And if you're paying a premium in order to have that access, you're paying for something that you're not getting, and that's not. There should be accountability and ramifications for that.
We're talking with Springfield Clinic officials. Of course, we'll obviously hear a lot more about Blue Cross Blue Shield and what the next steps are, especially with area legislators, both Democrat and Republicans, asking for the Department of Insurance to do more to not just investigate, but also hold Blue Cross Blue Shield Illinois accountable, just for sake of trying to get all sides on this. I did reach out earlier this morning. Now, granted, it was crazy early this morning. I think I sent off the email at like 3:30, so... but I did ask for a response from Blue Cross Blue Shield about this, so hopefully we can get something, and I'll share that with you, what their response is. But this clearly is something that's impacting patients, that's impacting, I would imagine, even doctors. Doctors don't want to be wrapped up in this too, do they?
Oh, absolutely. It's our focus to keep medical care here local. And so this is a direct threat on our ability to keep and retain physicians in the central Illinois market. So that's really a big factor of this for us is, we need to protect that. We don't need or want our patients to have to travel to a large city to receive their care. And so that's really what this is about.
Again, talking with Springfield Clinic officials, Zach and Cal. And Cal, just talking there, just to completely change subjects because, of course, we'll talk more about what's going on with Blue Cross Blue Shield in the future. But a big day yesterday, and the Shields Sports Complex at Legacy Point, ground being broken. Springfield Clinic's very much a part of this.
Yeah, we're really excited about it, and there is a little irony there. These two topics actually connect. We are focused on giving back to the communities that we serve. And so that's what this Legacy Point Sports Project is all about. Regardless of all the challenges that we're dealing with Blue Cross, with other variables, we're proud of the fact that we've been able to maintain our commitment to this project. We see the value that this is going to bring to our community, new members to our community, new businesses. So yesterday was a really big day for us. We're excited about it.
And what are you guys going to be doing? Are you going to be just sponsoring events, or is it going to be even providing some assistance to those young athletes?
Yeah, a whole book of business that we have planned for this. So we are the exclusive health and performance partner of the park. We're a pinnacle partner next to Shields as it relates to the branding of the park. But our focus is more than the name recognition. We're going to be bringing services. Our focus on this is to bring a modern, innovative approach to healthcare, and we see this project as an opportunity to roll that out. We've got various services planned. We'll share more with you guys in the coming months, but a lot of exciting things.
A lot of exciting things, and we talked with Ryan McCready from the Springfield Segment Growth Alliance earlier today, getting kind of a timeline of sorts of when to expect this to open, right. And kind of a soft opening in late 2024, and then things are really going to kick into gear in 2025 with the big grand opening. So looking forward to that. Well, Zach, Cal from Springfield Clinic, both of you, thank you so much for taking time with us, and please do keep us posted on what we do find out about the latest back and forth with Blue Cross Blue Shield, and we'll definitely get that out to our listeners. But Zach, just one last time here, talk about the importance of anybody who has questions on how they can get those questions answered.
Yeah, if you call us and ask for our patient courtesy line, you're going to be able to get to someone. If you tell them that you're trying to sort through a Blue Cross issue, whether or not someone is in network, we'll get you to someone who's specifically focused on that. And if you are out of network and you still want to see a Springfield Clinic provider, you can call that number and we will sort through what your different payment options are. If you want to pay cash payment so you can still see this provider and it doesn't have to get the claim filed, we'll tell you in advance what that cost looks like, so then you can decide and make the decision about, all right, I'm just going to go ahead and go back to my Springfield Clinic doctor. I'll just pay out of pocket. It's a reduced fee in that case because cash payments are. And so we're doing everything that we can to try and help patients navigate this. And so give us a call and we'll do everything we can to help.
Fantastic. All right. Zach Kirker, Vice President of Brand Experience and Advocacy, and Chief Development Officer Cal Thomas. Thank you both for taking time with us today.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Greg.
It is Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk now 8:21. Let's take a quick look at Springfield's dependable forecast. where you've got a high today of around 74 with a chance of showers and storms. Overcast skies right now. Possibility of showers and storms tonight, the low of 62. Friday, chance of storms with a high of 78, but then comes Saturday, mostly sunny, the high of 82. Sunday, 50-50 chance of showers with a high of 76. Right now, it's about 62 degrees, overcast skies at 821. From Culver's West on Wabash.
Deliver smiles, butter burgers, fresh custard, and great service. Culver's West on Wabash is hiring for all positions.
It's a new day, a new way at Green Hyundai. Over 100 new Hyundais in stock and more arriving daily. Come see why Hyundai is the best-selling new car in Sangamon County for the last 16 years.
That's right. Motor Trend Magazine's big third row 7 and 8 passenger SUV comparison. Hyundai Palisade placed number 1 over the competition. Motor Trend quotes Palisade, lowest price, best fuel economy, and more luxury, backed up by America's best warranty, 10-year, 100,000.
Also, TrueCar quotes best overall SUV, the Tucson. Can you believe the best SUV is under $30,000? Yeah, base price at only $28,000 window price.
Largest inventory we've had in 3 years, pushing 200 units on the ground. Get the Green Hyundai today. Save big on Hyundai's value. Green Hyundai, 1200 South Dirksen Parkway, Springfield.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power.
Here's what we believe at Rex Battery. You should be able to find the right battery when you need it. Our company started when my dad needed a battery for his car, and he built it himself. Today, more than 50 years later, we are still making sure you can find the right battery you need. And that includes the common batteries people use every day to the hard-to-find batteries used in big farm equipment. While online outlets are struggling with supply chain issues, we have shelves full of batteries. The best part is we're right here in town and ready to help today. Hearing aids, power tools, and the car in your garage. If it takes a battery, you can find the battery at Rex Battery, Clear Lake, just west of Dirksen.
Here at Warren Boynton State Bank, we're proud to be a true community bank since 1877. We remind you that the goal of a community bank is to work together with our customers and communities to help move them forward in positive ways. When we accept your deposits, we invest that money right back into this area, into homes, farms, and small businesses. One of our primary goals is to help this community in any way we can. And because we've invested in you, our friends and neighbors, our bank is safe and sound and in business to stay. We're sincere in our care and concern for this community. Our employers, directors, and managers are people you know, people who are dedicated to making this a better place to live. Discover what a true community bank is at Warren Boynton State Bank, 3030 Spring Mill Drive in Springfield. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Warren Boynton, your bank.
Ever notice how other stores that sell mattresses have middlemen that are so meddling with their extra costs and overpricing? At Verlo, there is no middleman. Verlo builds all their own mattresses, then sells directly to you, so you get higher quality for the lowest price. No greedy extra charges for things that have nothing to do with your mattress. Some people call that consumer direct pricing. I just call it smart. Wake up. Sleep better. Verlo.
Most mattress manufacturers build only mattresses that cannot be flipped. To keep costs low, they resort to using cheaper foam, which breaks down quicker and eventually leaves your mattress with a body impression. At Verlo, we put better quality components into our single-sided mattresses. We back them with the best guarantees in the industry. Stop in and see us this month and you'll get second side savings. If you choose a double-sided mattress, we'll double your savings. Verlo Mattress. We're not just building a better mattress, we're building a better night's sleep for less.
Get $500 off with second side savings now at Verlo.
Blood donors rock at Impact Life because saving lives is in their bones. Now, through October 31st, all donors who register to give blood will be eligible for their choice of a $10 gift card or a limited edition Blood Donors Rock long-sleeved Halloween-themed t-shirt. Give what's in your heart today and register to donate blood before October 31st. Visit our donor center on Wabash in Springfield or on Main Street in Decatur. We are changing the world together. Visit bloodcenter.org.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
Lavina Roach. I was married for almost 65 years, and I have 4 kids, 5 grandkids, and 5 great-grandkids. I've been here for 5 months. It's so clean. Everybody's wonderful. It makes you feel more like home. And I don't think there's any place in town that's as nice as this one.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
Take Springfield's morning news with Greg Bishop everywhere with the free WMAY mobile app. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's news and talk.
All right, got a few moments here. Take some phone calls on a whole host of things we've talked about so far this morning. You can call in at 217-629-7970. Again, 217-629-7970. Just to review some of what we've talked about. My gosh. All right. We talked about how the case that was brought against Illinois law concerning lawsuits allowed against firearms industry players and actors and businesses, be they manufacturers or retailers. State law allows for them to be sued for allegedly making the community less safe, or suing over if they advertise to kids or if they advertise for what the state deems illegal militia or paramilitary activity. That has been enacted and a lawsuit was filed. But you have yesterday in federal court a judge granting the state's motion to delay a response to a motion for a preliminary injunction. So that's actually going to be coming sometime next month. I think October 19th was the actual date that the judge had set aside. Yeah, October 19th. Granting the defendant's motion for delaying a response to a preliminary injunction request. Now, what's interesting there is, and I didn't necessarily mention this earlier on when we were talking about it, it's over in California. You had a federal judge take a similar California law and strike it down. So how that is going to play into the federal courts here in Illinois still is yet to be seen. So we talked a little bit about that and really the status of other lawsuits about Illinois gun and magazine bans. And how those are still pending. So we'll be watching all of that. We also discussed how Governor J.B. Pritzker praising the Biden administration for giving work permits to recently arrived Venezuelan migrants, including thousands in Illinois. So obviously that's a big issue. Plus we talked about the issue of Gojin, which is a Chinese-linked electric vehicle battery company that is getting more than $500 million in tax credits to set up shop in Manteno. And people, even over in Congress, sending letters to the Treasury Secretary saying that they don't want tax dollars, especially even the tax dollars that'll be set aside part of the Inflation Reduction Act, which could equate to some estimates $6 billion over the span of 5 years, going to some see as an adversary of the United States, China, the Chinese Communist Party. And they have, essentially regulations saying that if a Chinese company is doing business, they need to essentially be an arm of the Communist Party in China. So red flags being raised in that case now as well, with the most recent letters coming from members of the U.S. Senate and members of the U.S. House. So several sending those letters to the Treasury Secretary talking about this company being linked to the Chinese Communist Party. And even here in Illinois, you got State Representative Chris Miller saying that the Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker's giveaway borders on being traitorous. So we talked about that. We also discussed the sports complex finally getting some shovels in the ground. It's a big deal here in Springfield. They're at Legacy Point, and the renderings look incredible. One thing I think was actually probably the most titillating is when we talked with Ryan McCready, and he said that that dome they're going to have out there, that inflatable dome, it's going to be bigger than the Shields complex, than the actual building of Shields. That's already a huge building out there at Legacy Point, south, side of Springfield. Huge building. And to think that you're going to have an indoor facility, a dome-type facility, that's pretty awesome. And it's going to be bigger than Shields. So thumbs up on that. And also thumbs up, Mark Hanna joining us earlier as well with the Springfield Airport Authority, talking about the new service that's coming December 1st to get people down to Florida. 2 different locations in Florida, and they got introductory pricing. Before the end of the month, I believe, you can get a one-way ticket for $49. That's pretty awesome. So I'm getting those things lined up and seeing the expansion here in Springfield in a couple of different fronts. Pretty big deal, and glad that we were able to share some of that. But, of course, we talked in the last segment with Springfield Clinic about the ongoing issues with Blue Cross Blue Shield. I did get a note from Blue Cross Blue Shield just moments ago saying they have received my request for a response. And they'll be reaching back out here soon, so maybe we could possibly talk with Blue Cross Blue Shield in the near future, or at least convey a statement from the insurer to respond not just to Springfield Clinic's concerns, but also to all area legislators. Republican State Senator Steve McClure, Republican State Representative Mike Coffey, Democratic State Senator Doris Turner, Democratic State Representative Sue Shearer, all sending letters to the Department of Insurance saying more needs to be done than just financial penalties for the Blue Cross Blue Shield insurer because of adequacy issues. So what's going to happen? Who knows? We'll be watching that closely, and we'll update you. But it's right here with Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. If you need to get a hold of me at any time, it's real simple. Just email me, bishoponair@gmail.com. Again, bishoponair@gmail.com. We are on really all the legacy social media accounts. X, formerly known as Twitter, YouTube, also Facebook. And people can message me that way. I got several messages, one saying, as predicted, the robbery crews are escalating in violence, with a link to CWB Chicago. And this is a tweet, and if you're not familiar with CWB Chicago, they're an outlet that really looks at crime within Chicago, and it says a 78-year-old man was hospitalized after being beaten and robbed in Lakeview this morning. Within an hour, at least 13 more people were robbed by men who physically attacked women and men on the streets. No arrests. Well, that's an ongoing issue in Chicago, no question. Plus, I mean, there's tons of comments on the YouTube stream this morning that it's tough for me to follow, guys. I got so much going on, just managing the show and pushing all the buttons and making sure people get into the studio and things are lined up and the cameras look good and whatnot. But one message here most recently, Randall says, "No offense, Greg, but I like Jennifer's rendition of the weather best." Glad you like it. All right, stay tuned. We've got Crime of the Week with Crime Stoppers coordinator Drew Zabados. Also, we'll get a business spotlight out for you from Synergy. So that's all on the way here to finish things up with Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. Now, 8:35, and here are some headlines.
92.7 WMAY.
Here are the 3 big things you need to know.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story, the Citizens Club of Springfield will meet Friday morning at 8 o'clock. Their guest speaker will be Mike Murphy, president and CEO of the Greater Springfield Chamber of Commerce, who will discuss the history, mission, and core values of the chamber, as well as chamber programs and challenges. The moderator will be retired reporter Bernie Schoenberg. The event is free and will be held at the Hoagland Center for the Arts. September 23rd marks the 40th anniversary of Republican Governor Thompson's signing the Illinois Educational Labor Relations Act into law. The governor's administration hammered out an agreement with the Illinois Education Association that allowed collective bargaining for teachers and led to limits on class sizes, more funding for special education, and other advancements in Illinois classrooms. An historic building in Springfield is one step closer to being demolished. The Springfield City Council on Wednesday approved a zoning ordinance that would allow development of a parcel of land that includes the Sportsman's Lounge located at 229 West Mason Street in Springfield. The building dates to 1866 and is one of the oldest commercial buildings in the city. Medicare officials are beginning to negotiate lower drug prices with pharmaceutical companies, at least one of which is resisting in court. Medicare had previously been prohibited from interfering with pricing decisions between manufacturers and pharmacies on the grounds that such negotiations interfered with the company's patent rights. Pharmaceutical giant Merck has filed a lawsuit against the federal government to protect pricing on drugs to treat diabetes and other chronic diseases. A special delivery of space dust will land in the Utah desert next week. A probe called OSIRIS-REx left Earth in 2016 and landed on an asteroid called Bennu in 2020. It collected a sample from the surface and will enter Earth's atmosphere on September 24th after a 3-year journey home. Scientists expect to retrieve 1 or 2 pounds of material, which they believe will yield clues about the composition of the solar system billions of years ago. The Springfield City Council voted on Wednesday to spend $110,000 studying the feasibility of converting the Dahlman Unit 4 power generation plant from coal to natural gas. Opponents of the measure complained that switching one fossil fuel for another was inconsistent with meeting climate change goals, while proponents countered that any conversion process will need proper study before an informed decision can be made. The Illinois State Police has just issued a press release regarding the new requirement that individuals who possess an assault weapon or other items covered by the law must submit paperwork through their FOID card account prior to January 1st. Individuals who need help can visit an ISP FOID kiosk or visit the ISP website. When visiting a kiosk, the ISP asks individuals not to bring their weapons with them. Your WMAY dependable forecast is next on Springfield's News and Talk.
News sponsored by Just Beds. A great night's sleep starts with a visit to the Yawn Exterminators at Just Beds. Online at justbedsinc.com.
So when was the last time you saw a best deal guarantee?
You mean a promise that actually held up?
Right.
That some unknown online entity didn't want you to log in and download a code and then re-verify as you join some club?
Drives you nuts, I know.
And then once you purchase that set of steak knives...
Well, Dick Van Dyke Appliance World is a lot simpler. You find a verified great deal and they beat it. Just show them the deal you saw. A newspaper clipping or the online cart price will do, and then you're good.
At Dick Van Dyke Appliance World, it's one of those instances where you see a best deal guarantee and...
you get the best deal.
This is Dennis Rieken, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. Our exclusive 10-year protection plan comes free with most appliance purchases. Whether it's a GE, Whirlpool, Frigidaire, Bosch, or any of our 30 brands, I guarantee we will beat any competitor's deal. Wow!
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Blood donors rock at Impact Life because saving lives is in their bones. Now, through October 31st, all donors who register to give blood will be eligible for their choice of a $10 gift card or a limited edition Blood Donors Rock long-sleeved Halloween-themed t-shirt. Give what's in your heart today and register to donate blood before October 31st. Visit our donor center on Wabash in Springfield or on Main Street in Decatur. We are changing the world together. Visit bloodcenter.org.
Now, your dependable forecast on 92.7 WMAY.
Chance for scattered thunderstorms. Today, otherwise cloudy skies. High temperatures reach up to 74. Southeasterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance for scattered thunderstorms. Tonight, lows level off around 64. Mainly cloudy skies expected. Chance for scattered thunderstorms. Tomorrow, daytime highs approaching 79. Cloudy skies expected. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Currently, it's 63.
Weather sponsored by Lauterbach Tire and Auto, home of Stage 2 service. Drive safely now.
Looking to buy your next home or considering listing? My wife and I recommend choosing RE/MAX Professionals of Springfield, Fritz Pfister. Working with Fritz to find our new home in Sangamon County was truly a wonderful experience. He's prompt, responsive, and we had constant communication. He was committed to serving our needs and made our home buying experience an absolute pleasure. RE/MAX Professionals of Springfield, Fritz Pfister, 217-652-7653. 217-652-7653. Buying or selling a home? Fritz makes it easy.
It's a new day, a new way at Green Hyundai. Over 100 new Hyundais in stock and more arriving daily. Come see why Hyundai is the best-selling new car in Sangamon County for the last 16 years.
That's right. Motor Trend Magazine's big third row 7 and 8 passenger SUV comparison. Hyundai Palisade placed number 1 over the competition. Motor Trend quotes Palisade, lowest price, best fuel economy, and more luxury, backed up by America's best warranty, 10-year, 100,000.
Also, TrueCar quotes best overall SUV, the Tucson. Can you believe the best SUV is under $30,000? Yeah, base price at only $28,000 window price.
Largest inventory we've had in 3 years, pushing 200 units on the ground. Get the Green Hyundai today. Save big on Hyundai's value. Green Hyundai, 1200 South Dirksen Parkway, Springfield.
Some people would call him a loser. He ran for state office. He was beaten. He started a business. He failed. He ran for Congress. He lost. He was nominated for vice president. He lost again. But he knew only those who never tried are the real losers. And Abraham Lincoln was no loser. Persistence. Pass it on. From the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.
Want to get rid of your Instagram? What about all those treasured pics of summer vacations, selfies, and food? Deleting your Instagram means they all go poof, never to be seen again. Or so you thought. I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by NetSuite. Gain control over your financials. Get NetSuite's KPI checklist absolutely free at netsuite.com/Kim. When it comes to saying goodbye to Instagram, there's no way to get all the content you've made back. So before you delete your account, or worse, what if a hacker grabs your account and locks you out? And good luck trying to get back in. Get all your memories in another place. Here's how. Launch Instagram and give your profile pic a tap. Now spot those 3 little lines in the top right? Tap those too. And from there, select your activity and transfer your information. And just like that, you've unlocked the magic door to send your stories, your snaps, and videos straight to popular sites like Google Photos and Dropbox. Hey, you got to be on your toes all the time, and I can help with my free newsletter. Join over 600,000 at getkim.com. Is your business falling behind? Are your employees buried in manual processes? Well, then you need to know 3 numbers, 36,000, 25, and 1. To start, 36,000 businesses have already upgraded to NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. And this year, NetSuite is celebrating their 25th anniversary. That's 25 years of helping businesses do more with less, close books in days, and drive down costs. And finally, that #1, because your business is one of a kind. NetSuite offers customized solutions for all your KPIs in one efficient system. It's one source of truth to manage risk, get reliable forecasts, and improve margins. Everything you need, all in one place. Right now, download NetSuite's popular KPI checklist, designed to give you consistently excellent performance, absolutely free at netsuite.com/Kim. That's netsuite.com/Kim to get your own KPI checklist.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI Studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
All right, right, let's get into Crime Stoppers Crime of the Week. And to do that, we talk, as we do each and every week, with Officer Drew Zabados. He is the coordinator for Crime Stoppers of Sangamon and Menard counties. Officer, thanks for taking time. Hopefully you're staying safe out there. What's the crime of the week this week?
Yeah, Greg, thank you for having me. This week we had another sizable retail theft. It occurred out at Macy's at the mall. This was back on September 7th around noon. Two suspects who I have pictures of, they're going to be on our website, that's cashfortips.us. They went into Macy's, started to ask to see an assortment of jewelry. They were looking at different things, and before it was all over, one of them took a three-piece diamond ring set valued at $5,500, and they both fled the area on foot. As I mentioned, if you go to our website, cashfortips.us, you can find pictures there. If you can identify these subjects or know anything about this case, you can call our anonymous tip line. It's going to be 217-788-8427. You can use the P3 app, and of course, we do pay up to $2,500 for any information that leads to an arrest. Again, a $5,500 diamond ring set was taken. Both suspects fled on foot.
Obviously, retail theft, if it goes unchecked, it could lead to stores closing down, people losing jobs or increased prices, and let alone the security concerns there are. And it's not a victimless crime at all. So if you know anything about this, be sure to contact Crime Stoppers and get that information in. It can be done anonymously, and you can ensure that you can get a cash payout if indeed the tip leads to an arrest. So again, Officer Drew Zabados, give us the contact information for people to reach out to Crime Stoppers.
Yeah, you can call our anonymous tip line. That's 217-788-8427. You can always submit a tip through our website. That's cashfortips.us. Or you can use the p3.com or P3 mobile app. Scrubs your IP address, so you'll be anonymous there as well.
Make it happen. Drew Zabados, coordinator for Crime Stoppers, Sangamon and Menard County. Greatly appreciate it, and be safe.
Thank you, Greg. Take care.
It's now 8:47 from Culver's West on Wabash.
Being the best part of the customer's day. Apply today at Culver's West on Wabash.
This is Rob Zavitka, Director of Sales and Business Development Manager for Midwest Family Springfield. Are you the one person I'm looking for to help further build our media sales team at Midwest Family Springfield? We are the premier multimedia marketing company that no other company compares to in the Springfield area. It's really simple. I need one sales leader, a brand ambassador whose talent and team focus will thrive working with Midwest Family. Are you passionate, self-motivated, goal-oriented, and highly competitive? Are you an